looks like we're also getting to the point now where the draft is coming in here, as we are going to be starting off with the wonderful Rockies map that we do have here, the skinned version of the wonderful cliffside map. Not cliffside, wait, coastal cliffs.
Coastal cliffs,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's cliffs somewhere in there. This time it still has cliffs, they're just...
This one's a little more rocky.
yeah.
A little more scenic on the side. Yeah, but definitely same idea. We're going to go.
Yeah. Looking at the draft here so far, Valdemar is definitely like one of those players that really pays a lot of attention to drafting and just like overall just puts a lot of value on like practicing drafting, and kind of goes to show here. He's got some very high value civilizations there. Byzantine, Rus, Juji. Those are like immediately some premium civilizations. loueMT, not so many premium civilizations. We got like a very early Japan pick there, and Louis is like really good. Like him and CSO are like fearsome Japan players. And now we can also see the civilizations here for our game number 1. We're going to be looking at the Malians for loueMT up against the Holy Roman Empire for Valdemar. Okay, that's going to be an aggressive game, I feel like.
Yeah, especially in the map of this size, right? A little close by. The two players are a little close by, so you can expect more aggression, especially from the HRE side. For Mali, you don't want to stay around and let that Calboom go for too long, right? So I think definitely aggression's on the table. And like you said, Valdemar in this draft is looking really good. Definitely strong Byzantines. You got Rus, you got Zushi, you got a lot of good civilizations, and definitely, playing against someone of Louis' caliber, he's definitely going to need or take every advantage he can get. So definitely a good start for him here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's a smaller map, so you don't have too much room to expand outwards too. So definitely favors a lot of focused aggression. But Louis is also very a very defensive player at heart by nature. So he's definitely one of those players that can drag the games out a little bit longer, and that's where he kind of feels very comfortable. And I mean, yeah, Coastal Cliffs and Rockies, it's like dry Arabia, but it went out a little bit, partied a little bit too far, and one day just after partying, woke up in a bathtub full of ice and noticed a little bit was missing. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we were talking earlier, Louis' playing style kind of also mirrors sometimes Marine Lord, where it's not so much one thing, it's that the methodical, the general play style of like defending very well, even if you are under pressure and aggressiveness, it's still, you can hold the fort and then play the long game and then like be really safe, really solid, and then it's really hard to deal with for other players.
It's a very adaptive playstyle because these players, they can play aggressive, and sometimes we do see the aggression also come out, but it's never like forced aggression. It comes naturally whenever the game dictates for aggression. That's when they do go for it. But when they don't need to, when they know, okay, their scaling is better, they're going to be perfectly fine and content with just simply pulling back a little bit, taking their time, scaling a little bit better, because they know as long as the game goes on the way it is at the moment, they'll be pulling further and further ahead. And that's just so great, like having that game knowledge and knowing, okay, when can you pull back, when do you have to play aggressive, when can you afford to not play aggressive at all and just let the game continue as is. That is something that just really goes to show just experience of these players and provides a lot of value. Feels better there in the camera waving.
Yeah, like you said, it's not so much when they're playing aggressive, it's because it makes sense for that specific matchup in that specific moment. It's not so much like I'm playing against a better player or I'm under stress and I just want to end this game, try to catch that window. Try not to prolong this game too long against a better player so that I can, not risk making any mistakes. Nothing like that. Nothing like stressful aggressiveness. Sometimes when I play, for example, against someone of better caliber, I try to like just push the issue, end the game a little early if I can. That's my only chance, kind of thing. So it's not so much stress aggression. It's when they want to be aggressive, it makes sense. But like you said, in general, they're more happy just playing the game the right way. Playing methodically, the long term, and just getting the best position they're looking for, basically.
Yeah. Players still getting themselves set up. We do have our production cow on the scene, helping out the players, getting themselves ready here.
He's everywhere all the time.
Yeah, this man jogs, dude. Like, he's everywhere. He's got those sport shoes on.
Yeah, and
one second he's in one place, next he's in another.
And he's not missing. I mean, everybody's here coming to watch. He's saying hi to everybody. He's making sure the streams, everything is going smooth and helping the players. So, yeah, like you said, he's everywhere at once.
Yeah. Man. It's always so great, like being here at a LAN event as well, interacting with all the players, interacting with the audience as well.
Yeah.
Definitely like one of the big bonus points there when you're hosting a LAN.
Yeah, and I mean, coming to the land in person, it's good to see a lot of the folks we see on Twitch and kind of play with. It's nice to see people put a face into name and stuff like that. So it's a nice community. It's really nice. Like you said, if you're around Denver, you're close, come say hi. And we do have other colors. I know we're doing two blues here, but yeah, there's definitely other colors. There's great merch out here. But yeah, great event.
Exactly, exactly. Looks like we should be getting into our game number 1 here very, very soon, and I'm very excited for this one. loueMT, he's like one of those players that it's always very interesting to watch him as well, because sometimes you get like these really spicy plays as well, those like a little bit off-meta plays. They tend to be created whenever he plays with his buddies from China, like CSO or Scarlet Devil, because they do really come up with like some wild strategies. And we all know like the meme with loueMT and CSO, like when they play French or when they play Jeanne d'Arc, it's like knights, 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 not even a single archer. It's literally going to be only knights, and they win just based off of pure micro and map awareness.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those strategies that you practice for, right? They come out in tournaments, they come out in land events, and it's not so much as just always playing the meta, always playing what's popular. You kind of tweak it, and then, like you said, if you have practice partners where you can kind of practice beforehand and kind of come up with different strategies, some of the best kind of games is you throw off your opponent. It's an RTS game. You want to adapt, and you want to kind of push your opponents to kind of try to make mistakes so you can capitalize on them. So it's all of these different factors, and like you said, if there's different strategies that come up, it's always interesting for the viewer and for us too watching, right?
Yeah, exactly. Valdemar, he's also one of those players that really like puts a lot of effort into preparation. So he will definitely have a game plan when it comes to like these different matchups here, and he's going to be up against Malians. Typically, I would say that this is one where you just want to be playing all-out aggression. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Mindwork Palace here, just because it gives you like that additional early timing. And especially against a civilization like the Malians, you do want to emphasize your unarmored units. You do want to emphasize the strength of your spearmen. You do want to emphasize the strength of your horsemen. So having a technology like old pikes available from the Mindwork, it just synergizes so well. I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing here. Louis on his side, he is most likely, I want to say, like something that we've seen in general more and more recently is a little play into just 3 cattle at the beginning on Feudal Age, just to have like that little bit of food trickling coming in. And after that, you don't make any more cattle for quite a while, and you just pump out units because you have to hold, you have to defend. And once the game like goes on and on and on, the HRE, they have to move out more and more onto the map. And because they gather so fast, like gathering fast, of course, is great.
We also run out faster.
Yeah, you run out faster. So the transition can hit HRE kind of hard sometimes. So that is something that needs to be practiced. That is something that needs to be evaluated there as the game goes on. And it's going to be interesting to see. But I do believe that it is right about that time now for us to be able to jump into our game number 1 now between loueMT and Valdemar here. This is our 4th set of the day here today at the King of the Rockies.
Yeah, and like you were saying, for HRE, it's not only, especially for a map of this size, it's not just your cavalry speed. It's more so your infantry is faster. You have more of them. Your economy is better in the early game, so you have more units out in front, and then just kind of pressuring down Malians, like you said.
And here we go. We've got Valdemar in the color red playing as the Holy Roman Empire here on Rockies. His opponent is going to be loueMT in the color yellow playing as the Malians. And already see the pit mine coming up. Houses getting dropped around it. Doesn't look like we're getting any Dark Age aggression straight away from Valdemar. Something that's interesting, especially considering just the unfortunate gold spawn here from loueMT very far in the front side. But
and the second gold too. Yeah. All the golds in the middle of the map, it looks like.
Yeah, Valdemar is also scouted this at this point, so at this point might probably be thinking, I should have probably gone for it, but it's not the end of the world. He can still go for the aggression later on. But does mean that loueMT is going to be getting away with that. And we do have the nice little... Yeah, the cow special. We do have the sheep overlay there on the minimap as well, telling us where all the neutral sheep are out there on the map. So we know that there's still a bunch to be left, to be grabbed here. And at the moment, Valdemar does have a slight lead when it comes to the sheep that have been taken.
Yeah, and for HRE, especially if you're going to play aggressive, right, the sheep count is important under the Aachen, that initial boost of economy, like you said. You try to pump out as many units, as you said, as you can. And yeah, looks like Valdemar is going for the classic Aachen Chapel, and it is a pretty good Aachen, so it might be because of the positioning that he went with it, right? So you have sheep, you have the woodlight, and you have gold, so it's like the picturesque.
Berries.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like the picturesque Aachen Chapel to take advantage of And let's see if Valdemar pushes the issue and goes aggressive.
I think at this point, just because of the Arcane Chapel like already being a play here, also provides you with the opportunity to potentially go for Pro Scout as well. So I think that's also something that could be coming in here. Mansaquari is now coming in for loueMT.
Yeah, the only reason is so you can go a bit slower in the beginning, go for Pro Scouts, and like you said, your economy is so good, you're not going to run out as fast as you would otherwise. You have sheep under TC, you're going to have deer trickling in, you have berries, so you can stay under your TC safe and sound, maybe with a tower or two, and so you don't have to move out on the map while you're trying to put pressure. And when you're putting pressure, the gold mines, like you said, the second gold mine is also going to be in the front. So if you're going full throttle, making all the units you can, it's just going to be really hard for the Malian player to hold, in theory.
Exactly. And this Louis right now gathering a lot of wood at this point in time. He did go for a couple of additional houses around that pit mine, so it's already accruing a good amount of bonus gold that he could put to use either in the form of cattle or economy upgrades.
Yeah, and the mill's already down, so it looks like Valdemar is kind of, gearing up for that Pro Scouts play. Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense, especially on a map that is this small. You kind of don't want to move out too much. It's nice to be condensed inside of your base.
And the positioning of the deer too, it's not like safe in the back or anything like that. It's kind of off to the side for both players. So actually, for Valdemar, the 3 deer packs, closer to his base are all
very accessible.
Yeah, fair game. As
there
he
it is.
And he's cute. It's fair game as he's pumping out units and he's able to, secure those deer. And Lou's not going to be able to kind of contest that deer pack of his, in theory, if he's not, able to pump out as many units as HRE with that Arcane.
And looks like we are indeed going to be seeing those first couple of cattle coming in. It's just such a nice boost to your economy when you have just like a couple of cattle early on inside of a ranch. Each single one of them does provide you with 24 food per minute. So it's almost worth an additional villager. And on top of that, of course, you're also getting passive income through all those pit mines. Second one already coming in as well for Louis. So looks like he knows with Pro Scouting coming in means that he's got a lot more time to set up his economy at home before he really needs to start reacting to what Valdemar's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I think he just scouts the Pro Scouts play and he realizes that, yeah, let's just set up our economy as well. So it's kind of his best economy start to my best economy start and then go from there. So like you said, it's adaptive kind of response to the Pro Scouts play. Initially getting that 2 pit mines, that initial cows, like you said, a few cows, and then I assume might be units to respond to the pressure that Valdemar's going to go for. And he goes for the far deer. Oh no, that's the second deer. His deer pack still.
Yeah, his second or rather far deer is going to be the first one that he goes to. Just because like at this point in time there's no aggression coming out from Malians yet, so Louis doesn't really have a way to deny this yet. So it makes a lot of sense to go for the deer that are farther away from your base first, because the other ones are probably easier to secure. And yeah, but overall the economy right now from Louis, it's pretty great. Not just because of him scaling a lot of resource, but also because this is going to allow him to produce a lot of sofas. He's getting a lot of passive gold per minute. He's getting a lot of passive food per minute. That is like the ideal resource split to be massing up a lot of sofa. And sofa, they are like a budget knight. But they're just in general really, really great to mass. They, not too long ago, I want to say like 5-6 months at this point in time now, received a pretty strong buff in Feudal Age where they buffed the health, they buffed the damage, and at the moment, Sofa is just a really good unit to be spamming out a lot of in Feudal Age, and it carries a lot of its value over to Castle Age. I think it's one of the most important aspects of it as well. Yeah,
I mean, you're eventually going to make Sofa anyways, right? So having that extra strength in Feudal is just so versatile, especially in a meta where a lot of Pro Scout play is happening. And Valdemar kind of expects that, goes for the Spearman, immediately follows up with Horseman, just to have that mobility, try to secure that deer pack initially, get that food boost. And there's the archers coming as a response from Louis. And so it's just going to be a classic. I'm trying to get deer, you're trying to cow boom, and we kind of fight it out in the feudal and then go from there.
Yeah, that's the classic Malian army composition as well. We're getting the sofas, we're getting the archers. Looks like he is. Yeah, he was making the second archer range, now switches it up to a second stable instead. So looks like he really wants to go ham on the sofa production, doesn't want to make as many archers here. Definitely understandable. You only need like 10 to 12 archers in order to start one-shotting the spearman, and overkill is something that you don't want to avoid as much as possible. And Sofa is going to be the main bread and butter of your damage output.
Yeah, I think the other thing about Sofa is cavalry, right? It's faster. So if you want to kind of disengage, you have that opportunity, as opposed to if you're going mass infantry and trying to pressure, you can always get cut off in position and lose a lot of units that way. But yeah, Louis looks like he wants to lean in on Sofa a lot more and then try to harass those scouts. And the other thing is all the deer are essentially on one side of the map. So when you're pro scouts doing pro scouts, sometimes you want one deer pack on one side, one deer pack on one side, so you can sneak in some deer. But right now, it's for this map, it's clear where the action is going to happen, right? Both for gold pit mines and for the deer. So it's kind of like you don't need to overthink. You just go straight out where you need to go.
Well, he's also getting a wall up here. He's going to be able to at least save one of his deer packs there. Even across the board there onto the units from Valdemar. Just get a little bit of DPS increase with that as well. And right now, as you mentioned, like Louis' army composition is very mobile. He's getting sofas, which are faster than knights. He's getting scouts, which are warrior scouts, which are faster than normal scouts. So he's going to be very mobile out on the map. He's going to be able to react to anything that Valdemar's doing. At the moment, he can't really deny pro scout. He can somewhat delay it time and time again. No real denial, though. Actually able to get that scout there.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he's trying to do, right? Not so much overwhelm and kind of kill the army of Valdemar. It's more so kind of pick up a scout from there, delay the deer, kind of just protect at least that second deer pack of his that Valdemar is kind of trying to go for right now. So that's essentially the point. He's massing up the archer count and is kind of keeping that at bay a little bit so that if there's a big engagement, then he can move those forward. And he's just more so the Sofa and the one warrior scout moving around and harassing the pro scout, like you said.
And thus Louis is also continuously investing into the cattle economy. Already has 6 in the ranches far behind that. So able to get a good amount of passive income here behind this. Valdemar, of course, at the moment, he is living his best life just because he has that pro scout income. So right now his food income is definitely through the roof. We're looking at roughly 1,500 food per minute here for him at the moment. And Louis, yeah, he's only sitting at like 800 food per minute. He's definitely having a rough time when it comes to keeping up with that. And now we see the issue here, right? Like loueMT, all of his pit mines are forward. So Valdemar definitely in a nice position when it comes to harassing that a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as we said, that first Aachen positioning, plus pro scouts, I mean, Valdemar's eco is just kind of the best eco that HRE can have, and their whole thing is eco, right, in the Kill Age. And so more and more Valdemar's army is just going to grow, and like you said, I mean, Lou's just trying to posture and trying to protect his pit mines. Like you said, they're both in the same spot, and so, yeah, from what we see from the graph, it's just, with that economy, Valdemar's going to keep pumping units, and if Louis
keeping up.
Yeah, I mean he's keeping up, but if he kind of drops down a little bit in terms of the army count, and then just immediately goes downhill from there.
Valdemar wants to get Castle Age. He just pulled 11 villagers over to gold. This is a little bit greedy, I want to say.
But it might actually pay. I mean,
it might work, but it might also just like give Louis in to just kill.
Yeah, I think Louis senses it and is kind of moving forward a little bit because he probably expects the count, but also expects it to continue growing, and it's probably not going as much as it should. And yeah, I mean, Regna Cathedrals is already going up, so this could be a good timing push for Valdemar. And like you said, it's just 2 pit mines in one spot, so if he gets the veterancy and just keeps pushing there, Louis can be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Louis at the moment, he still has 14 villagers over on wood, so it doesn't look like he's going to be rushing his own age up anytime soon here behind this.
No. Just slowly cow booming. It's not doing too much to rush that and making sure that the army count is also there to protect himself. I think Valdemar's going for that wood line, but the army is there protecting the wood line, so Louis should be no problem there. The more pertinent issue is that Valdemar is aging up right now.
Yeah. So Cathedral is going to be finishing up in just the next couple of seconds. Louis still doing his best when it comes to denying the pro scout play behind all of this with a single Sofa there. Now the age up has come in. Louis, great macro behind us though. He did pull more villagers off the wood line and is now also getting very close to his own age up potentially. Valdemar behind this, he actually doesn't have enough resources to get the veterancy in on all of his units. He's now deciding to go for veterancy on the Spearmen. Makes no sense with how many Sofa are out there, but Spearmen are still easily counted out by a few late archers.
Yeah, and Valdemar is really, going for that night play, mass night play. He's putting down more stables, and instead of, focusing on some of the veterancy that he needs to get, he's making sure that he's going for the knights, because army comp from Louis is archer Sofa, right? So knights really complement well with the army that he has. But Louis is already aging up as well, so he should be able to hold no problem.
And Louis behind us also circling around the relics here, trying to make it a little bit harder for Valdemar to pick these up. Valdemar already sent out his first prelate, actually using the one from his Archon Chapel there in order to just get that nice little bit of better timing. And there's still the 2 sheep there on the corner of the map, on the edge there, that have not been picked up yet. More walls coming in, and now with the age up, veterancy upgrades will be coming in from Louis as well, which of course are a little bit cheaper, are coming in a little bit quicker for the Malians, and that is really important when you're, already behind in tech for a little bit.
Yeah, and like you said, one thing about Louis' composition is this is the army comp that Malian wants to go for in Castle anyway. So the fact that it's viable in Feudal makes a really nice transition from Feudal to Castle, where you can kind of get those veterancy. And Louis right now he's trying to then look at this raid.
Great.
It's 2 villagers. 2 villagers. That's, I mean, and 1 horseman down or 2 horsemen down, something like that. So it's definitely worth it. Valdemar keeping Louis on his toes. Looks like
army count very similar. Army value a little bit favoring Louis here at the moment. Looks like he's trying to catch off the units that are trying to retreat to the horsemen and the knights that did just go away. Second relic is going to be on the way now for Valdemar, so he's slowly but surely getting them in. But we're getting to a little bit of an uncomfortable stage, I want to say, for the HRE, for Valdemar, because he wasn't able to finish off Louis in the feudal age. He's now at a point where his farm, or rather not his farms, his food economy, it's running out. The deer at this point probably completely dry, just because HRE economy is that good. Like he's gathered through all of them. But Louis, he's getting so much passive income. His food transition is pretty much already done. Yeah, this is gonna be quite rough now for Valdemar. Sure, we're only at 12 out of 20 cattle, but it's already just so much passive income. Yeah, we can see like there's nothing underneath the Archon at this point.
When the 2 berry patches are out, you just have no food left. You have the other berry patch as well, but eventually you need to look at farm transition. Meanwhile, Louis is just going to get passive food as the game goes on, like you said. But I think right now, Valdemar probably wants to push the issue a little bit because of the reasons we said, and also because his army is not bad right now. As time goes on, Louis is just going to get better economy in terms of passive income.
Only 8 knights out at the moment here for Valdemar, but there's just so many sofas out from Louis. They could definitely take a fight if need be, and with this many archers, poison arrows would definitely help out as well. We're getting Musafati warrior upgrade now as well. Veterancy on the Musafatis.
Maybe it's for like a raiding?
I mean, he didn't see that many archers yet, right? So it's definitely a good unit to make. We got a wolf here taking some chunks out of a villager. Could potentially take that one down eventually. And now Valdemar moving out on the map, double outpost. He is securing the boar in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and the other thing about this map is just not so many places for cavalry to go to raid. It's easy for the army to maneuver in a defensive position, right, to try to protect the villages. And so when you're trying to poke and prod like this, you lose a lot of units, as Valdemar is doing right now. He kind of retreats so that the army comes together to try to hold that boar position. Because, like you said, he needs that food, his food economy right now. Because you just vacuum up all the food under Aachen, now you need to secure that position.
We haven't imported armors in yet. I think we do. I'm not sure. I didn't see it come in. Yeah, we do have imported armor in, so these archers, they're barely going to be tickling those sofas. And yeah, Louis actually just going for the mass body play now behind this. Fight is actually getting taken maybe a little bit too early. We do have poison arrows in, I do believe, at this point in time. Louis is also doing his best to just focus down those spearmen every now and then, making sure that the sofas are also just buying enough room here for the archers, but he is getting pushed back quite a bit now.
Yeah, I mean, the army comp in terms of for Valdemar, there's a lot of spearmen, so he can just push the issue. The Sofa is not going to be, but he's actually going to be able to push him pretty far and kind of harass the villagers, disturb the economy from Louis as well. And we said this is all the pit mine, right? Is that if you attack here, this is all the gold economy that Louis has. So.
Yeah, gold's so important for him. He doesn't have that many cattle in yet, and that's just the result of not having that much gold. That's a lot of barracks that have been set up, so Louis definitely just going ham on the Musafati play here, but Valdemar equally investing a lot into the archers now, also adding in Landsknecht.
Yeah, so it's going to be a perfect response in theory to the infantry comp from Louis as well, the infantry switch. But yeah, I mean, he's able to get that pit mine down. And kind of pulls back, regroups, waits for the reinforcements.
Third relic now also on the way for Valdemar. Louis did manage to snag 2 of the 5 relics on his own side as well. But the HRE, of course, when they get relics, it matters a little bit more with the Regnits.
Yeah, it's a different kind of relic. It's a little stronger.
It's a relic plus.
Relic plus, exactly. And Louis is trying to pressure the boar, right? I think he knows at this point that food is kind of an issue for Valdemar, probably, and he wants to kind of limit the map as well. We do have a fight, I think.
Fight is being taken there. So first, battling up against the cavalry from Valdemar here. Not the fight that Louis wants to take, though. He's going to have to back off at least for the moment here. At this point, Louis, he really wants to go for some raids, but Valdemar also getting some walls up now on the side there, so it's going to be limiting the angles of attack that Louis can realistically go. The double outpost also just providing Valdemar with so much vision around that boar, so it's also like one of those HRE bonuses that's being overlooked many times, where the outposts actually have baseline more line of sight. They see a lot further.
Yeah, Lou's able to poke and prod, especially at the cavalry from Valdemar. But like you said, Valdemar right now is just doing a little wall on that left side, and then the double tower sprinkler placements on the other side, right? Like you said, division, and he's able to position his army in the middle so he can maneuver around and prevent any raids. But Louis is poking and prodding. He's trying to, I think he's going to be able to get into the base and maybe raid a little bit.
Yeah, but Louis, he's also successfully remassed a lot of the archers that he lost earlier, and now we're at 42 Musafani warriors, so the army is starting to become quite a bit frightening here as well. Valdemar, he's just busy chasing after the sofa, which are gonna probably find the villagers on the stone vein. So also splitting up one of the sofas just to like get some damage in elsewhere. Sofa does find those villagers, and at the same time he does attack on the boar spot as well. Valdemar has to now split up his army, and this is where mistakes can happen when the army gets split up. Fight is getting taken, but there's just so many Musafani warriors here, still 40 remaining. The archers now at the front side, that's not where they want to be, but they don't have any other meat shield at the front area. They're gonna have to fall back, tries to kite at the way back, but there's just some Sofa soaking up the arrow fire as well in the army mix for Louis. He's close to 100 military units now on the field. And at the same time, he's pulling him in the other direction again, killing villagers on the farms.
Yeah, what a play by Louis, kind of baiting with the cavalry and then quickly getting rid of those towers, getting rid of the villagers, and then taking this fight. I mean, it's just really, really good play by him. Try to get that. This also denies him a board, so it kind of makes things even worse. Now the food economy is also going to go down. He's just going to push the issue. I don't think Valdemar knew about the mass Musafani warriors before that fight happened.
Yeah, I don't think he just expected that many. We do see more Landsknechte being massed into right now, but still the Sofa just distracting the infantry mass from Valdemar here a lot. He's getting forced inside of his base, a lot of idle economy now as well. That's going to be the result of that. Now Valdemar, he's focusing the one area here at the front side, but I do believe that once that happens, loueMT is just going to pull back yet again. Lost a lot of the Musafani warriors, but still so many more in queue. And every time Louis gets pushed back on one side, he starts to attack on the other.
Yeah. And this, I mean, although that the meat shield, the front line is gone, he's going to kite back and try to gain maximum advantage from this archer ball. He did trade out, but he did, you know, do a lot of damage into the economy to Valdemar. So I don't know. It might be. I don't know if Louis is probably happy with this. What do you think?
I think overall he has to be happy. Like, he depleted a lot of the front line here from Valdemar, very high value units. And when it comes to archers versus archers, sure, the HRE have more movement speed, but you have poison arrows, so you do have more value on the archers. So it's just a lot of trickle damage does make a pretty big impact on units with a low health pool like this.
The other thing is, Louis knows to, you know, I think his target is the food, right? He's burning some farms. He's idling the farms under Aachen, and I think his, and we do see the problem with Valdemar is the food is going down.
Yeah, he's got no food.
Getting idled. He can't make more units. Even though he might be trading decently, you know, it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, it's just no way. Valdemar, he's lost the entire military force. Only 5 villagers actively gathering food at the moment behind all of this. No farms working. Dark and was just a little bit too far at the front. And yeah, Louis, he still has 20 cattle behind this, so his food income is just through the roof at this point in time. Valdemar's not even close. A lot of villagers did go down behind all of that as well. The Sofa's getting maximum value out. Now, they have been cleaned up, but there's something that Louis can remass with relative ease behind this, just courtesy of all the passive income that he's getting.
Yeah, Louis doesn't have the same food problem. And we do see the income per minute, 2,000 food per minute for Louis versus a measly 300 for Valdemar. So, I mean, the difference can't be any more. And behind this, the sacred sites are also taken care of. The timer's ticking, and Louis is just kind of pressuring right side, left side, pressuring that food eco.
Yeah, definitely just pulling out Valdemar's army here wide, and it's so difficult for Valdemar to play this now. He's behind not just in the overall income with the passive economy from the cattle, but also just because of the villagers that have been killed on his side.
Yeah, the
over 2,000 food now for loueMT every minute. It's just pumping out more and more units here behind this. There's no stopping in sight.
Yeah, and play against Malians, you definitely don't want to be down 13 villagers because the economy doesn't even take it into account of all the passive food, the cow boom. And we also, the poison archers is in too, so every archer that's going to shoot now is going to pack a little more of a punch, and then Lou's just going to keep on pressuring.
That's a mark at the front side. Valdemar did need to re-macro a little bit there with the economy after the damage that has been done. But now, I mean, Louis double the military count. He's just going to be pushing it into the base now.
Yeah.
Valdemar losing the military. He's got some spearmen, but they don't really get a chance here to engage at the front line.
And the 22 archers that Louis has, right, is just going to keep dishing out damage. And we do see GG getting called. That's 1-0 for Louis in a best of 5.
loueMT able to start the set here off with a victory. So now Valdemar, it's going to be his turn to pick the next map that they're going to be going on to. Now, obviously, like HRE, they were a pretty strong, like a very strong civilization for quite a while. I think nowadays they're not like getting the same rep that they once used to. Obviously, there were a couple of nerfs, the inspiration that got tuned a little bit down, and overall...
It was a big change too, the inspiration, right?
We're also in a meta where like unit strength and aggression overall just gets valued a lot more overall. So I think that's definitely also something that plays a big role here. I think it's pretty interesting that both players here, both Valdemar and loueMT, both banned Ottomans.
Both banned Ottomans.
Yeah, both players banned Ottomans. So
people are just sick of playing against Sipahi, which is understandable.
It's definitely like Sipahi are a pretty strong unit. Like it has to be said. Like Marino himself said, okay, yeah, Sipahi, that's like that's Ottomans right there. That's the entire civilization strength, and
exactly.
It goes to show like Sipahi are really like one of those top tier units, and players starting to respect that. We do actually see the ban here coming in for that.
And a lot of these maps, Sipahi and the maneuverability of Sipahi is really advantageous, right? So could be because of that and just kind of what they saw earlier in the series, right? Just kind of to not play against that, get that out of the way, and then go forward with that.
Yeah. Seeing that economy graph here from the last game, we do see the dotted line there. That's the line where the cattle are. So it's always a little bit deceiving, even though it looks like Valdemar has a very similar or even superior economy there. He does not. It's the cattle economy. It makes the world go round. And for the Malians, it definitely holds true as like 1,000 food per minute. It's just going to be cattle towards the late game. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Getting 1,000 food per minute without even a single population slot getting held up there.
Yeah, I mean, the military value lead, right, tells the story. It's essentially early on you have that advantage from the economy from HRE. You have all those units to be able to pressure, but Lou's so methodical, defending so well, and kind of maneuvering his cavalry as well with the archer and Sofa. And when that castle age hits, he's not scrambling. He's just kind of re-macroing, getting up to castle himself. Even though he doesn't have the full cows, he's still able to trickle in those cows. So the balance is so well
exactly.
done.
Once you get that little bit of breathing space, once you are able to push back the opponent's army a little bit, you're just able to rapidly scale that cattle production once again. It comes in so quickly. You can just add in a couple minutes. They're only 50 wood. So you're able to get that cattle economy going online very, very quickly as well. And yeah, overall, like Malians just...
you just need to not die.
Very strong. Yeah, you just need to not die, and then you can't die. Eventually, you can't die. Yeah.
I mean, you can't really die with that military value eventually, right?
It's also tough to raid because it's just like next to your TC. Like, how are you going to raid the cattle? Like, to raid the cattle, you need to just be so far ahead in the military department as well. It's one of those things. I think, like, Valdemar, if he went for, like, the feudal age all-in, there probably would have been a much greater chance for him to potentially end up winning that game there as well.
Yeah, especially because of the forward gold, right? The forward gold and the wood lines, essentially, that you want to try to overwhelm.
credits to Louis here, just like also not over-investing into Feudal Age. We see the age-up graph there as well. Only 1.5 minutes after Valdemar hit that Castle Age, Louis followed up, and like he wasn't planning on going to Castle Age. He just thought, okay, my opponent aged up, immediate re-macro, still investing just a little bit in tunes, but not too much, and yeah, able to keep Valdemar on his side of the map. Not even like he only gave him 3 out of the 5 relics. Like Louis still got 2 relics there, even though Valdemar got like an age up 1.5 minutes earlier. Exactly. It's pretty big.
With the HRE, several different prelates that you can be out on the field right away, right? So, yeah, like you said, Louis played that very, very well. The balance, like you were saying, cow boom versus army versus how much army versus where your army wants to be, all of that is the balance was so great so that he could kind of re-macro and immediately go to castle, immediately get that value from his passive income from his cows. And yeah, like you said, if with that Auckland placement, if he were to go, if Valdemar were to go full throttle, Feudal Age, it might be a little more scary, a little harder to deal with for Louis because it's a 2 comp, right? And Valdemar's going triple and has that eco behind it. So, like you said, it might be a different story then.
Looks like we do know the next map here that has been picked by Valdemar is going to be Pigeon's View, and it's going to be Ayyubids for loueMT and the Delhi for Valdemar. This is an interesting one. The players, so far, when I asked them between like this specific matchup, most of them said, it's pretty 50-50 between them. I think it's slightly favored for Delhi just because of the Ghazi Raider. I do really think that Ghazi Raider, having a stronger horseman up against something like a Desert Raider to like make up for the Camelanies just inherently has so much value. On top of that, you have healing baseline. Meanwhile, Ayyubids, they would have to sacrifice an entire wing in order to get healing in the Feudal Age. There's just a lot of things that speak for the Delhi, but something that speaks for both Civilization and Pigeon's View is you do have a good amount of berries, and both these civilizations do love some berries. Yeah, and
the other thing we were talking about, right, it's the Civilization bonuses, eco versus military, and sometimes how strong of a unit you have that at your disposal is really important. Like we talked about Sipahi, and in this case, Ghazi Raiders versus unique units of Ayyubids, so that synergy is really important to try to use your unique units, like you said.
All right.
Looks like we're setting up for game 2 here.
Players getting ready here. Last minute preparations being done. Lobby being loaded up, and we'll be jumping into our game number 2 of the set very, very soon. I'm also going to be taking a little sip there as well.
Yeah. It's just going to be a few more minutes at most for the game to get started. We're loading up and should be here in no time.
Delhi. And I do have a little bit of a hate. There's like hate-love relationships. My relationship with Delhi is purely based on hate, I want to say.
I think that's pretty well documented at times.
So we're going to have to wait and see exactly how this one is going to be played. And here we go. We got a nice little observation here as we are just cruising on in to the map here. And it's going to be our game number 2.
I do have to say, these views at the beginning of the game is always really nice.
It's so cinematic.
So cinematic to start us off, right?
We also got KP's favorite points of interest there as well. So we do have some little outposts there that can be captured up. Very important, especially on a map like this, where there is just, like, we can see it on the minimap. There's a couple of stealth forests here and there. You might not even, like, realize, okay, there's other territory as well. Like, it's mostly just stealth forest. So having these outposts that you can capture up and just retain a lot of line of sight around this area, it just brings a lot of value with itself, especially since it's close to the sacred sites. And, well, wouldn't you believe it, one of these civilizations does like sacred sites, even in Feudal Age.
Yeah. I mean, both civilizations can use those healing units, right? Religious units to try to get those for Ayyubids, the relics, and the Castle Age, and also for Delhi, even in the Feudal Age, to try to get those sacred sites for extra gold income. But like you said, the addition of the outpost to try to get sight of, get some vision is really. It used to be that this map was always, you can't really see anything, but now with these points of interest, kind of adds a new dynamic. And what you see is some of these sheep on the mini-map, right, where the remaining sheep that's going to be fought out after our...
There we go. We are going to be getting the economic ring growth here from loueMT. So it's going to be getting 3 villagers. I talked with some players about this matchup. I mentioned that earlier. And they also mentioned, yeah, economic growth is just very, very valuable here in general because, of course, like Delhi, they're getting upgrades in for free. And you can kind of make up for that a little bit just by going for the economic growth, getting 3 more villagers. And the way that you want to play this matchup as the Ayyubids is you want to also be getting up in your upgrades very early on. If you have feudal age upgrades, and of course you're also getting the you're also getting the Golden Age from the House of Wisdom, so you're getting an additional 10% economy from that. That way you're able to like kind of keep up with the passive like scaling that Delhi gets just from not having to pay anything for upgrades as well. So we already see loueMT sending 4 villagers over to gold just to be able to afford all of these feudal age upgrades.
Yeah, so like from what I'm hearing, it's just you want to make sure you're not using your eco bonuses to full extent, right? Going for that eco wing, getting that extra 3 villages in the beginning for that extra eco, and then also not neglecting your eco upgrades because whatever you do, Dale's going to get those upgrades eventually anyway, so you don't want to fall behind as you're in the heat of things.
Behind all of this, of course, you do want to then play very, very aggressive. You want to play a prolonged feudal age when you're up against Delhi as the Ayyubids. Just off the back of all of these early economy upgrades and, of course, the additional villagers from the economic growth.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't, right, if you don't play a feudal age versus Delhi, both the scholar scaling and the sacred site gold income is going to be too much at one point. It's just, you know, especially for you. But yeah, I know you. you have opinions about their economy and their scaling, of course. But yeah.
B also said that if Delhi like eventually gets the castle age, it's just so much value that gets unlocked. So even if you don't have like sacred sites, you just get the castle age, you get all the upgrades in. That's like baseline and S tier civilization at that point in time.
Yeah, and it also depends on how many scholars you have, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on how your feudal age goes, how many scholars you have, how what your army trades are looking like. The moment you go into castle age, you just have so many upgrades immediately queued up at your disposal that, like you said, it's just so much value.
loueMT in typical fashion, we also do see some walls coming in from him here now 4 minutes into the game. And it makes a lot of sense when you're up against the Delhi Sultanate. There's going to be Ghazi Raiders, and you don't want to like bother chasing after them the entire time, or at least you don't want to like have to worry about every single avenue of the map there. Looking at the spawn here, actually, I'd only just noticed, like, look at the deer spawns for Louis, both in the back of his base inside of the stealth forest. That is a very safe resource to have. Like, that is an S-tier spawn right there for him.
Yeah, and the double wood line, I think what he's thinking about is that it's just so easy to wall off, right? So he's going to wall off and protect the gold, kind of semi-protect the wood lines as well. Just protect that side of his base and then kind of focus in when eventually he wants to go out for the deer. He can kind of defend that with his army and not have to worry about constant Ghazi harassment on the other side in his wood lines.
Speaking of Ghazi Raider, first one is going to be making its way across the map now through the stealth forest. It's going to try and look for some potential villager kills. Behind us, we do have loueMT, of course, already in with wheelbarrow. He does have horticulture coming in now as well, and double broadaxe, so a lot of economy upgrades already coming in for him. We should be also getting very close now to the first golden age, so I think with the completion of the stable, yeah, there it is, should be coming in just as soon as that one stable gets completed. First couple of women also in queue, so we'll be able to deal with that Ghazi Raider without too much of an issue here.
Yeah, and Lou's just going for kind of a good setup, right? He wants to make some spearmen, defend, and like you said, get all the eco upgrades, have a good setup, and then go from there. And Valdemar's also having that Pro Scouts queued as well for free, as the Delhi. And I think, especially with the positioning of the deer, eventually he's going to, get some a little under TC range, but he's just trying to harass, right, from the early Ghazi play. Already up to 5 Ghazis, 5 Scholars, another in queue. And the classic Delhi, Dome of Faith play.
Yeah, Louis now making units out of every single production building that he does have. Desert Raider also going to be coming in. It's always so important to have one of these Desert Raiders. The Camel on East truly just brings you so much value when you're up against the Ghazi Raiders. Very high base damage on that unit, so being able to decrease that by 20%, very valuable. And now we do see Valdemar. Excellent timing here from him.
7 minutes, sub 7 minutes. And you can do this especially when you have Dome of Faith, right? With 6 Scholars, it's just so much quicker.
Now, the part where the excellent timing came in is that like these Scholars reach the sacred sites just like the second that Sanctity finished researching. So very quick play there for him. Ghazi Raiders also making their way to the right-hand sacred site, as that is where loueMT is sending his spearmen over. Wants to contest that. Looks like he's not going to be able to, and that means that Valdemar is going to be able to lock in both Sacred Side, at least here for the beginning.
Yeah, that time is also so important because of this, right? Because it doesn't give Louis just enough time to make so many units initially so he can get that free Sacred Site. But Louis has the spear numbers and is able to push back the Ghazi mass. Behind this, Valdemar is going into archers, of course, so he's going to be able to hold that position eventually.
Wait, what happened on the other Sacred Side? Did he also just a single horse? Oh, just a single horseman. Valdemar, it looked like he was going to be getting control over both Sacred Sides, but maybe just overestimated his Ghazi a little bit too much. Left one to die there to the spearman. It's always the situation, right? You never want to have those Ghazi rays go down because you can heal them up. And loueMT, he doesn't have the few late shielding. He didn't go for that wing, so it hurts so much more that Valdemar did eventually lose that Ghazi ray. And now there's going to be the horseman. It's still there. The Scholar, he's going to be under attack yet again.
The Scholar's half health too, and there's only archers nearby, and so. I mean, right now it's 8:30 minutes, right? It could have been a 7-minute, essentially, timer on those Sacred Sites, and instead, he's almost going to lose that Scholar just in the nick of time. Saves, and he's going back to capture that site.
Oh, man.
I hear some wolf noises. Is that a wolf? Hopefully it's not bothering the Scholar. No, it's
Scholar is very low HP. Just about like a mean stare right now could take him out.
Yeah.
Or a boar, yeah. You don't want to stare at that one too much.
Just got to get that site and get out of there. Go back home, stay safe. And Valdemar goes out on the map for the berries because the deer is eventually going to come back home, right, with Pro Scouts. So secure that with the tower.
Is he going to be able to finally lock in the Sacred Site? Nah, Sacred Site's still getting denied here. loueMT just with his presence persuading Valdemar not to try and take that one. Fight is getting taken. Archers do their best in order to micro down up against the spearman, but
does he have a scout nearby?
He does have a scout there, but it's potentially going to go down. Will go down, loses the scout, suddenly has no more line of sight there until the outpost comes up.
That's so important for an archer cavalry comp, right? So you want to see the spearman try to kite and take out those spearmen. It's much easier for Louis just kind of move through the forest, no problem.
Yeah. Total resources per minute here. loueMT, he's looking very strong at the moment. Just all these early economy upgrades just catapulting him through the ages. Valdemar, we do see a slight dip there. That was when his villagers walked out to build that outpost and go onto the berries there. So right now he's in a little bit of a low phase when it comes to resource. We don't have any spearmen out from him yet, which could hurt him quite a good bit, as loueMT does have a good amount of horsemen as well.
Yeah, 9 horsemen up there. And Louis is leaning on the archer ball as well, but the horseman, like you said, kind of requires spearmen because you're not going to be able to get those sites, right? And Louis, like you said, he went for the good setup, the economy, the upgrades, and then now, without sacred sites, you're kind of falling behind a little bit for Valdemar. Although he does have a lot of scholars, and that's kind of a scaling for him, but you're Delhi, you still want to get some tempo and fuel age against Ayyubids.
Now, Delhi doesn't necessarily need the sacred sites. It's a very nice bonus for him. Valdemar at this point, he's already got like 12 scholars.
Yeah.
What's scary is that even with these 12 scholars, loueMT still has more military out on the field.
Yeah. And the archer ball, right, from loueMT, with the horsemen and the spearmen, so triple comp from Louis is able to kind of push the advantage a little more. Although, you know, there are just a lot of Ghazis for Valdemar too, so depends on the micro a little bit, and also how long loueMT is willing to stay under PC. And yeah, so he doesn't want to stay too long. He just kind of wants to posture a little bit, push a little bit, prod, and then come back, and then not lose too many units because there's so many Ghazis, and there's definitely strong units.
Yeah, but still, Valdemar doesn't have that many units here. So this could still be quite dangerous here for him at the end of the day. Well, his staying his welcome maybe a little bit too long.
Yeah, I think Valdemar's trying to pick off those spears and so that the Ghazi can wreak havoc.
Yeah.
But Louis is very...
He's pulling the scholars as well.
Oh, to heal the Ghazi mass, yeah. So now then the fight could be a different story.
Those spearmen down now. Starting to turn around. Now he's diving past the front line as well. Tries to get onto the archers.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to kind of bring down the archer numbers, right? And then so try to pull back. And now he's going to have that opportunity to take the sites, right? The army numbers are much more in favor of Valdemar at this point. And he can also heal back up the Ghazis, so he can kind of reset in the middle of the map, gain that map control, and then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, so far Louis did a great job of just delaying the sacred sites, but now is the point in time, for Valdemar to start being able to capture them up.
Going for the barracks as well. Now he's going for the spearmen.
Also able to heal up the Ghazi Raiders from the fight there with the scholars, but there we go, first sacred site being taken now. loueMT immediately walking towards it, and he does still have access, or rather control, over that neutral outpost there.
Ironically, right now the spearmen are not going to be as important because there's only 5 horsemen, right? But still, you eventually want that triple comp just to make sure. Yeah, Louis is really bothering that sacred site, just not letting that sacred site get taken easy.
There was one scholar close to the second sacred site. Is going to get taken down. Probably got spotted by that neutral outpost there that Louis does have access over, or control over at the moment.
Yep. Louis been so careful about not allowing the sacred sites to be taken so easily. Even though Valdemar had that early timing, he's just kind of one horseman. Valdemar is pretty far in deep.
Oh, that's a lot of villagers that are being idled here right now. loueMT trying his best to get them to safety. It looks like textiles has been researched by him at this point in time. Villagers not going down too quickly. But doesn't look like he's going to be able to pick off any of the Ghazis that are running away here. Are going to be able to swerve out wide and are going to be able to get out safely.
Yeah, Lou's going for a double tower there just to kind of focus in on his pressure, not have to worry about protecting his villagers as much. And I think Valdemar's happy with that, right? He's just going to come back, regroup with his army. And right now, Valdemar's happy just pumping units, right? He has at least one site. He has a bunch of scholars. He did lose, a scholar or two there, but he has that Landmark. He can make scholars for cheaper. And he's going to keep this site and kind of slowly protect the mid-map.
Destruction value also looking good for him. He is ahead by roughly 600 value that he destroyed more compared to Louis on the side.
But I think Valdemar wants to push the issue because he sees just there's no spears, enough spears from Louis, so he wants to be able to close the gap. But he doesn't have a scout right now, so he can't really see as well into the stealth forest. So he's just not, hesitant to go too much forward.
We're getting to the point where this many archers can even start doing like significant damage or critical damage even to the Ghazi Raiders or just horseman units in general.
Yeah.
Players are going to have to be careful with how they take these fights, how they take these engagements. There aren't that many spearmen here for Louis, only 7 remaining. And now second sacred site is also taken by Valdemar. So it's time to ramp up with the golden come here.
Yeah, I mean, Louis does have a lot of close to 40 archers, but Valdemar has a decent number of archers himself. The difference is the cavalry count, right? The 15 Ghazis are just such a valuable unit here to try to go back and forth. Yeah, he does have a scout close by, Valdemar does, so that he can kind of more effectively take these engagements.
Behind this, I mean, Valdemar, he did, of course, get Pro Scout at some point in for free. Question is, has he been using it? Yeah, some of the deer have been picked up from the looks of it. There's only 4 remaining there, 3 remaining there at the front side. And fight is being taken at the same time. Ghazi Raiders getting onto the archers, no front line remaining whatsoever. loueMT trying to do his best to kite back the Ghazi Raiders. But a lot of damage is being done here. He's losing a lot of his archer mass.
He's minimizing the damage a little bit, but I mean, there's just so many Ghazi with no front line, and now he's going back into horsemen and spearmen. But at this point, it's just most of your army is archers. Well, Valdemar has both, triple comp and
he's got
healthy numbers for everything.
All the scholars have been pulled as well, so the entire army from Valdemar is healthy all year round.
Yeah, I mean, he can just kind of posture here, try to protect the mid-map for his 2 sacred sites. Oh, did both of the sites get decapped? Oh, that's interesting. Louis is able to decap both of the sites, even though his army...
Dead, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how Louis is able to keep these sites away from Valdemar this whole game. It's very, very well done. I think he just kind of, during fights, able to put like 1 or 2 units, sending off to the sacred site. 1 horseman to raid here, but now he knows he's on these berries, So Valdemar needs to be a little more careful. And this is a full Knight Horseman, so it might be... Oh, the fight goes on. It's just so many units from Valdemar.
And the Ghazi Raiders, there's still plenty of them out there. 13 at the front side. Louis still trying his best there. We do have a Desert Raider, so at least there is going to be the Debuff Aura coming in. Desert Raider is going to get picked off, though, so Debuff Aura immediately disappears again. Only 5 Ghazi Raiders remaining, though. Archer count relatively even. Now also diving underneath the TC. TC full with villagers as well at the same time, so is going to have that additional damage coming in. No more Ghazi Raiders here at the front side now. Scholars going to the front side as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, no more Ghazi is huge because you're under TC right now. Your entire army is infantry, and Louis has been really effective trying to kite with his infantry ball, right?
He's diving a little bit too much there.
Yeah, I
feel like.
Especially you're losing a lot of scholars for this. If you're going to try to go back and go castle or some scenario, right now you're down to 5 scholars. And all the spearmen as well. The spearmen have just melted.
But it's still double the archer count, and he's like slowly actually pushing him outside of the range of the TC. This could still work out, and Valdemar behind us is remassing in the Ghazi count. loueMT is actually floating so many resources, but he can't make anything because he's got like no wood at all. He can't make spearmen, he can't make horsemen.
It's just a numbers game, right?
Is he just trying to go advancement wing age up here potentially?
I think
he might need it, there's no other choice for him. He's forced into this.
I think he was trying to go for a normal age up and not like a... because he was so close with that gold count, but he had no other option at this point.
Oh, Louis, he's getting... Yeah, this is checkmate now. It's so difficult to come back from this. He's trying to rotate villagers out now. Doesn't have enough. Yeah, he's got the outpost there, but like this outpost... Oh my god!
Bounds out. I don't think he sees them. They're hiding.
Be very still. Be very, very still.
Yeah, even if those villagers are able to hide, no problem. It's just the 56 military count and, massing as well. On the other side, only 2 military count with no resources to be able to remass to defend, right? So definitely a really, really tough situation. I don't see how you can kind of hold from this position.
It is certainly like very tough. I think maybe if like loueMT is able to get back onto gold, which it looks like he's able to, can at least get some high value units in once Castle Age hits. It's kind of crazy that behind all of this, Louis also managed to get some eco kills, and it looks like Valdemar actually idled out his TC a good bit.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, you can see that from the stats down below.
Yeah, that's a lot of idle TC time suddenly there.
I think he's just trying to focusing on the attack, trying to be aggressive, especially with the Scholar pull, right? He's just trying to go all in, trying to kill Louis. And when you're trying to focus on the attack, sometimes things slip by. And Louis, he's got to run away. But Louis has been really good in terms of saving his villagers. Considering the fact that his entire base is overrun with Valdemar's units.
This is now a situation that's very tough. Like, if this was a military wing, maybe Louis could be in a better spot, but he did actually remass up to 17 archers behind this, and he is getting he has enough of veterancy on the archers. That's pretty big to be able to afford veterancy on the archers.
He's like moving forward and kind of baiting.
Oh, he doesn't need to trade this. He can't actually trade this. Needs to run back to the TC. Villagers hopping inside yet again.
Yeah, because there's just more Ghazis right on the way as well, up to 10 Ghazis from Valdemar. So you want to kind of try to hold until you get your veterancy and your kind of units. But the other thing is you have to gather resources, right? You need your woodline, you need your gold, and Valdemar is doing this two-pronged approach where he's trying to deny both resources, and he's looking like he's being pretty successful at that.
Veterancy is coming in now, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Ghazi Raiders coming in from all sides. Too many archers, so the count from Louis is going to get taken down. No other units coming out from him right now as well.
Yeah, we're right back to
reaching 0. And GG comes in. Valdemar able to even out the set now in game number 2. 1-1 between the two.
And this is what you were talking about, right? The power of Delhi and Feudal Age doesn't matter if you can't. I mean, Valdemar was really, really good with that timing, almost a sub 7 minute, and he had the scholars ready in position to get those sites. I mean, somehow, some way, Louis is just not letting him do that. But regardless, like you said, they don't really necessarily need those sacred sites, right? It's Delhi. You can just remass and you just keep the pressure up. Eventually, you're going to be in a good position.
And the long game in Feudal Age as well. Pro Scouts does come in eventually, and it's a lot of resource that you have safely underneath your TC, so you don't need to send out too many villagers onto those berries now. There were some moments where loueMT did find some villager kills out there, of course, which worked really well. I think it was just, in the end, for loueMT, it was very much a forced choice to have to go into the advancement wing because he had no more wood. He couldn't really do anything else, and it's always awkward when you're getting forced into these choices. Like maybe if it was like military wing, he would at least be getting like 3 free desert raiders every now and then, which at least then you have like military value out on the field. Advancement wing just doesn't really provide you with that much. It's a timing advantage, but like the timing doesn't really matter in those situations. So.
I think for Ayyubids, you kind of want to initially deny the sacred sites, which Louis did a good job of, but eventually posture a little bit and go castle, and then get that advantage that you have from Castle Age against the Feudal Age Delhi army. And we do see the stats here. It looks like the military value is always Valdemar, like you said.
I'm sure
the
if the scholars are like
maybe there's so many scholars, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, you definitely had the military count there to. Make it look like that's an accurate representation there.
Yeah, and Louis had to kind of rely on his archers, right? And when you have archers, like you said, the unit that shines in that scenario is the Ghazi count. And you can kind of close the distance, dwindle the numbers of the archers, and go from there. And yeah, as long as you have a scout or kind of a decent view of the situation, it can kind of push the advantage a little bit, and Valdemar eventually is able to overwhelm. And we were skeptical, right? We're dying to TC, you're losing all your infantry, but eventually it's just a number game. You have so many archers, you have so many units compared to other Louis that you just overwhelm. Doesn't matter if you lose all your spearmen under TC, you don't need them anymore.
I do enjoy being proven right when it comes to a matchup between like Delhi and like input any other civilization.
Vindicated again.
Yeah, vindication.
Yeah. I mean, I was worried a little bit initially, right? Because no sacred sites, and Louis had a really good setup, like you said.
It looked good. It looked very good.
Yeah.
So many archers, you're able to like almost one-shot the Ghazi Raiders, and like very, very good micro there, and just pulling back and microing down the Ghazi Raiders with like stutter stepping with the archers in between hits.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not as well informed for Delhi as you are, right? You are just on top of it. You know exactly what's going to come. It doesn't matter if it's Louis or any other player.
I can't play them myself. I'm very good at dying to them. I just can't play them myself.
Yeah. I mean, when played well, especially with the scholar scaling, although he didn't go in Castle Age, he used those scholars as a healing unit, especially when you have a massive Ghazis, right? You want to try to heal those up as their health is dwindling for the Archer fire. But yeah, Valdemar just went aggressive, right? He doesn't care about Castle Age. He doesn't care about all the advantages that you listed from Delhi getting Castle Age. He just wants to, try to kill Ayyubids in Feudal.
Now, next up, it does look like we're going to be going over to Dry Arabia, so that'll be the next map that's being picked here. When it comes to the civilizations on Dry Arabia, I do believe, like, French, of course, is very good baseline, but Cliffside is in the pool as well, so I think, like, and Frisian Marshes. But Frisian Marshes is like KT, so this could... Yeah, I think you want to keep French for Cliffside, so Japan just by elimination.
And you were saying Louis really likes to play Japan in these types of maps, and he plays them really well, so... Yeah, Valdemar goes for Byzantine, so it's going to be Japanese-Byzantines matchup here on Dry Arabia.
Yeah, now, Byzantines for Valdemar, it's a really strong civilization, right? Like, we've seen Byzantines perform incredibly well, but Louis and Japan, there's just something magical about it. Like, the symbiosis that happens there, like, he is... We saw it in game number 1. In game number 1, like, Louis excellently just pulling Valdemar's army to the side every now and then. He does the same thing with Japan. Just mass-mounted samurai, potentially Yumi archers, but I've also seen him doing a lot with Honorable Geisha. Honorable Geisha, just in general, a really good unit up against Limitani to mass up. Because realistically, like, you're not gonna, like, you don't have full control over how many longbowmen you make. And Honorable Geisha just absolutely shred Limitani, and they can also deal reasonably well against longbowmen if they're able to gap close.
Yeah, there's some parallels between Malian in terms of pressuring, right?
Yeah.
With that cavalry and the infantry, a unique infantry as well. What you have in Mustafadi, a kind of a speedy raiding unit, you have in for Japanese as well. And so you can go like triple comp, and Louis is so good on kind of trying to bait on one side and then attacking on the other side. Like you said, And so it might be tough for Valdemar to deal with. The other thing is, for Japanese, I don't know if Louis likes it, but of course you can also go Dark Age Aggression versus...
it makes sense versus Byzantines.
Yeah,
because they're going to want to like put up the cistern, so,
yeah. So
they're a little bit
gold,
delayed
stone,
initially.
and berries.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of places to attack, so you can use your spearmen to get some value. And because your barracks is just so cheap, just go for it, might as well.
You're not going to be too delayed on the O&A job. You go for like 3 spearmen, you're able to contest every single resource that's out there for the Byzantines early on. And Dry Arabia, you've got a pretty straight path forward to your opponent now. Of course, there's always the question of like, okay, how good is the spawn? Yeah, if it's like the gold all the way in the back, you're kind of sad when you like move out and you don't really get a target.
Yeah, just an RNG game, right? Especially in these times. But yeah, Japanese has been. Oh, we do see the cinematic view again in the Dry Arabia. That's what we need to get us started in this game. And I was saying, for this Japanese, the barracks the change being so cheap now, it's kind of, you just kind of expect Dark Age Aggression from them. They're kind of like the new, I don't know, the Mongols per se, that you always have to deal with in Dark Age.
Already, like in this nice little flyby cinematic, we do see the spearman making its way across the map, and yeah, look at this opening here from Valdemar. He's actually like got the villagers already out on the berries. So this is something that you want to do when you want to get the mercenaries in as quickly as possible.
And he is far berries.
Yeah, he's going for the far berries because he knows once those spearmen arrive, he can only gather from the close berries.
Yeah, so
he's a man with a plan.
Exactly. Yeah, he's going to get... one thing about this is obviously you're not going to get as much olive oil than you would in the Grand Winery, but the other thing is right now, because you're getting berries all the way from Dark Age, you're just going to have so much olive oil just trying to directly get that tempo. Yeah, Lou's going to go for the gold first and then probably circle around, rotate, try to bother the berries.
Yeah, and Valdemar has just enough gold gathered to be able to afford the age up here. It's going to be a very nice situation here for Valdemar. Looks like loueMT isn't actually going to be able to get too much value out of the Stark Age Spearman play. And Valdemar, he's going to be setting himself up quite nicely for the feudal age here now.
The question is, a lot of times is follow-up with... Oh, yeah. The other thing is, in these scenarios, you got to be careful, right? It's already half out for that spearman. So you have 2 spearmen. The question is, they're going to be a kind of a tower rush follow-up, but... If you were to normally try to tower both the gold and the berries, it would be a really valuable tower. But the thing here is that Valdemar's already eaten a good amount of berries. So he could use that initial berry income to try to get some advantage, trying to push the issue. And Louis could have a difficult time dealing with it. But Louis, in terms of spawn, his gold and his stones in the back, so nice and safe if he wants to eventually go for a castle timing push.
Imperial Hippodrome now coming in for Valdemar, so we'll have access to that Triumph ability. Also has Akratoid active on those villagers, but Louis able to get at least a little bit of forced idle time out there, out of Valdemar's villagers on food.
And he didn't get any damage, right, or not much damage on his spearman from the Akratoid defense.
And he's just waiting for Akratoid to run out.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, just kind of poking right at the moment and then pulling back, just being really, really annoying. But only 2 spearmen, just ran out.
Yeah, only 2 spearmen, so the age-up timing is still going to be fairly similar. Kurostarhouse now coming up, he's aging up with 5 villagers to kind of make up for a little bit of the delay there. And Valdemar, is that already, I think that's already like the mercenary house that he's putting. No, shouldn't be the mercenary house, you can't put that up yet. What is he making? Is that a barracks? Should be barracks then.
Is he making a production mode? I think it's just...
No, it was just another house. Yeah, wait, he didn't finish that. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's just 2 houses and he's going to age up.
Just a house, yeah. I thought it was a production building. It looked bigger there for a second.
I think 2 houses together with the mill and the mini-map. Yeah, probably. But yeah, he's going to... Valdemar's probably going to be able to go back to gold eventually because once he ages up, I mean, it is a stable, right? You still have 2 spearmen to deal with, but...
they're Dark Age. Yeah. They don't do as much damage as Hardened Spearmen. So not necessarily something that's like too scary when you get like 2 horsemen out, especially since they're already like somewhat weak, and now villagers also moving out to the woodline.
Yeah, he kind of hesitates and he goes back to wood just to play it safe. But yeah, like you said, the mercenary house immediately getting dropped down because he already has 490 olive oil with more coming in, right? So it will be interesting to see what he goes for. I assume it's just going to be a longbow kind of, and then what do you think? Yeah.
Longbow just makes the most sense, and now Louis also hitting that age up. Valdemar now has enough to be able to produce the first batch of longbows as soon as that wing, or rather contract, has been researched. And Louis now also going for his own stable, so we'll be seeing some horsemen coming out from him as well.
One thing about longbows is, of course, it's kind of the premier unit that you want to use in terms of mercenaries, but when you don't have Grand Winery, it's just so much more difficult. He does kind of loses that. I guess he canceled that probably, right?
Yeah.
It's so hard to kind of mass up longbow counts when you don't have Grand Winery. It's just the income initially is good, but because it's 500 olive oil, it's just hard to get that second and third batch. Already has a horseman.
Giving Valdemar some information here. Yeah, Louis just still making more and more spearmen at the moment. Just wants to make sure that he's going to be safe from any horseman raids. Hasn't made his own horseman yet.
He has a stable down, but it hasn't produced horsemen, right? Yeah. Yeah, only a few on gold, so not kind of a...
it's not a fast castle.
Yeah, he's just getting a tower up and then putting additional pressure. And this whole kind of Dark Age aggression into Feudal Age has delayed Valdemar's stone gathering a lot, right? So the cistern is still first level. It's already 630, going to set, and he also goes for that far berries immediately.
Yeah, getting an outpost out down there now as well, so we'll be secured there.
He pulls back he baits the spear so he can attack with the other horsemen and delay. This a good amount of idle time trying to get that tower
very good.
up.
Power will eventually be coming up, so looks like Louis does want to go for a relatively fast transition to Castle Age now. At least that's what the outpost indicates, but he still has a good amount of villagers on wood, so maybe it's just the outpost there, so he doesn't need to keep units in the back.
Yeah. So, I mean, with this play, Louis essentially forced Valdemar to go the other landmark, right? Not Grand Winery, and also forced the cistern level to stay at 1 for quite a while. And, yeah, that scout might not be...
Good body block. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think that scout's not going to make it out.
Yeah, this does look like it's going to be a one-way trip for him, and indeed he's going to be sent to the grave there.
Good thing Louis has a stable, so he can remake the scout, but yeah, so he just makes a few horsemen. I think it's just kind of to poke and prod, to be annoying, and then behind that, like you said, he's probably going to try to go to castle.
11 villagers on gold definitely is going to be the Castle Age transition follow-up behind this. Second cistern only just now coming. Actually, Valdemar has already got the third cistern there as well, just hasn't connected them yet.
Yeah, I think once he secured his gold and his stone with the units that he's able to get initially from the mercenary house and the landmark, then he's able to put pretty heavy, 4 on stone to try to get those catch up on the cistern levels.
Oh, horsemen now making their way by.
Valdemar's going to see the amount of villagers on gold and probably try to be a little more aggressive, right?
Would make a lot of sense. Fortification already in on that outpost. Villagers, are they going to jump through? Fortitude gets actually, or rather Triumph gets activated here. Villagers jumping inside the TC.
It's a little...
He got two villager
one villager or two?
He got 2 villager kills there. So some nice little pickups there, but did end up using Triumph and lost a couple of horsemen. And without those horsemen, it means that loueMT is going to be able to go up to Castle Age pretty safely. Valdemar also pulling a couple more villagers over to gold now. So looks like he wants to potentially try and follow this one up, but honestly, it's going to be a rough one. He's adding a blacksmith now as well. Actually, maybe he wants to stay Feudal Age a little bit longer. But like, loueMT is not far behind in the military count already.
And he's already picking up, right? So he's going to have a stable ready. He's rallied onto the stable. Like you said, he's going to be one of those mounted samurai. He, of course, has that barracks. He can add additional barracks, no problem. It's not very expensive, right? So Valdemar is going to defend. He's already going to LoueMT, expecting the mounted samurai play. And, yeah.
Cistern level 5 coming in soon as well.
Well, one good thing about Valdemar is that he's actually able to get those berries on the front, so it's not going to be so much immediately olive oil starved.
Some of these aqueducts still need to be worked on at the moment. There's some gaps here and there. Are we getting there?
Yeah, right now, like you see, there's only still 5 longbows. The second batch is still just now being queued, and it's already, Lou's already in castle, right? And it's going to be mounted samurai. And the other thing, of course, is being able to pick up those relics for Louis, for Japanese in Castle Age. Valdemar is raiding with his cavalry, but this is the other thing about spawn, right? He's probably going to get that villager no problem, especially if the maybe another villager.
One villager, almost 2, gets inside in time.
Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about, the spawn, right? Because the goal is so far back, it's just really difficult for Valdemar to raid.
Yeah. He did get some good raids in, 3 villagers down here so far. Well, it's difficult for him to find the opportunity to follow up with his own Castle Age play, so instead he's just doubling down in the Feudal Age play so far. Louis now also going for some Honorable Geisha here. Oh, Triumph once again gets activated, but Mounted Samurai gonna be here. The Triumph is gonna get wasted here this time around.
Yeah, I guess one good thing is that he probably saved a horseman or 2, especially from some of the hits, because some of them are low health as well. But yeah, ideally you want to use Triumph in a situation where you take advantage of the damage, right? The damage increase. And he goes, actually Louis going into Samurai.
Yeah. No Honorable Geisha Samurai instead. I mean, also a very good unit to make. Valdemar still doubling down on the Feudal Age play so far.
And it makes sense, right? Spearmen and horsemen. Valdemar's doubling down. You know, a lot of spearmen, a lot of LoueMT, so samurai is definitely, especially Castle Age samurai, is going to deal definitely well with that, especially with
good front line at the very least.
Louis is missing some blacksmith upgrades, but once he's gotten those, he's going to be able to contest the army.
Still, Mounted Samurai going to be nice here when it comes to the small little raids. It's going to force Valdemar to at the very least keep the reinforcements in the back. Yeah. Valdemar also moved out on the idea it could be an opportunity for Louis to potentially attack. Valdemar at the same time going for a dive in the wood line yet again. Cistern still not connected yet. We do have the 10 longbowmen here doing great damage up against the spearmen. TC fully garrisoned though, and it does have the opportunity to potentially hit some of the longbows as well.
Yeah, you might Tiger Fire to longbows, but the Triumph is used. Now the blacksmith upgrades, like there's +1 on Valdemar and no blacksmith upgrades for Louis, so that DC is going to hit a little less harsher than it would otherwise. But these are still Castle Age units, you know, and it's just horsemen. The villagers are not going to die as fast. Of course, if the longbow step up, then it's problematic. But
horsemen are actually going to die rather quickly here now. Mounted Samurai helping out as well. Villagers pulling some shifts. One more villager does go down. 5 villagers down here so far, but Valdemar just lost a lot of his military force inside of the base from Louis. And Louis also kept most of his Mounted Samurai and horsemen alive that were trying to raid in Valdemar's base. So probably caused a little bit of idle time. Valdemar is still not anywhere close to Castle Age at the moment, at least food-wise. He is getting very close to the gold.
Yeah, I think Louis is probably not too concerned about that. I think he's happy about trading some of the army, especially because he didn't get any or not that much villager kills. Obviously, there's a lot of idle time, but like you said, Valdemar is so far away from the castle right now, and he's able to gather up the relics. And yeah, Valdemar has 600 or close to 700 gold, just not enough food because he's producing.
Yeah. At this point, also a lot of natural resources have just been used up for him, so that also slows down the food income there for him.
Yeah,
Louis just still continuously making more Mounted Samurai. Valdemar does also get spotted out on the deer now by a scout from loueMT, so he is going to have that knowledge as to what Valdemar's up to when it comes to food income there. It's not just a single Mounted Samurai up here and get a lot of value out from that one.
Yeah, I think because a lot of spearmen went down with that dive, Louis is kind of making a little more Mounted Samurai to especially raid. And like you said, Valdemar, the food income, because of the food issues, he has to spread really, really wide. He's up on the board, he's up on the gold up top. There's no walls. I'm not even sure there's enough towers for people, right? So your army can't be in 2 places at once. Now he's putting up double tower for the board. But I mean, what if Mounted Samurai shows up right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really risky at this point for Valdemar.
Behind all of this as well, sure, like Valdemar is 8 villagers ahead at the moment, but Louis, he's been able to get 3 relics in, so it's a little closer in theory, because 3 relics are equal to like 6 point something villagers, so yeah, if we look at the total resource per minute, Louis He's not far behind. Actually, sometimes he's ahead as well in the income department. Has a lot of these farms working for him as well, and with the daimyo upgrade, of course, these farms are also going to be working a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and whatever problems Valdemar has, Louis has kind of the opposite situation where he can kind of he's safe under TC with these farms. He's also safe in terms of the walls. He's able to wall up pretty nicely. So it's kind of the opposite situation. Valdemar is very vulnerable to kind of cavalry right now. I don't think Louis...
Is Louis going to see it? He does have a scout there. He does notice it. Villagers are going to have to evacuate. There's going to be a big delay on the age up now for Valdemar.
And also a good amount of villager kills probably because the army, the infantry is going to come back, what, 2, 3 at least. But this, the bigger thing is the idle time, right? Yeah. Aging up.
Behind this, there's like a 4th relic getting picked up, and Louis even going for the 5th one, the one that's closest to Valdemar's base.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's going to be able to pick up that one as well, and that means that Valdemar is not going to be able to get any relics here at all. And yeah, with the idle time cost, we're probably also getting close to Yorishiro being dropped inside of the TC from loueMT, so... Actually, no, he's dropping them inside the farmhouse, so that's also really good. You're getting a lot of additional food income there.
Yeah. Just doubling down on that kind of safe play where your villagers are not exposed, you're getting passive resources, your food is safe, as opposed to Valdemar, and you can actually focus in on attacking the food of Valdemar, right? So under the boar, the berries, just a few cavalry units, Valdemar has to spread himself very thin across the entire map, essentially, on the right side. And the age up goes, the longbows, there's 15 of them, right? That's the kind of upgrade you prioritize.
Getting some cataphracts. Yeah, cataphracts coming in as well. And now Louis switching into mass Yumi archers. So this is something that just happens so rapidly with Japanese, just because Yumi archers are so cheap and produce so quickly.
Yeah.
You blink and suddenly loueMT has double digits archers out on the field.
Yeah. I think it's just because there's so many spears, right, in response to Mounted Samurai. It's just a natural transition. But yeah, he can keep those at his base and kind of buff them up with bannermen and eventually move out on the map. I think Louis just does this really well, where he just raids with his cavalry and kind of protects the rest of his units until he has that mass where he's able to push forward and push the advantage. So he's just going to be annoying with these Mounted Samurai. He might die.
So many.
He almost lost that cataphract.
Yeah, very high value. You don't want to use that. Outpost is fortified though. It's gonna take a while to burn down. Looks like Louis is still committing to it, or at least gonna force Valdemar to move his entire army unless he wants to lose those 5 villagers eventually.
Yeah, it's just so many Mounted Samurai, so eventually it's gonna go down. It does buy a good amount of time so that the army can reposition and save those villagers, but...
He's only pulling the longbows? Wait, there's only longbows there.
Yeah, I don't think
there wasn't
Louis
any
saw
limit.
that.
That could have been very bad for Valdemar potentially if those longbows just went a little bit closer there. At the same time, cataphracts trying to find some raiding opportunities as well, but there's also an outpost, not just with fortification, but also with a spring alum placement there as well. Not something that Valdemar wants to stick around for too long. Still gathering on the boar and the second deer pack.
Yeah, and Lou's now getting the sacred sites, right? There's nothing else for the for the priest, the Shinto priest to do. That's when you know it's a problem.
5 relics.
5 relics. What are they going to do? The only thing left for them to do is getting those sites. So yeah, definitely Lou's set up for that passive gold income, and he's putting in the Yorishiros in the farmhouses, right? So he's double. It's kind of a mini Malian situation. Just a lot of Mounted Samurai.
A little fake out charge there, or rather trample, coming in from the cataphracts. But yeah, we got at 20, like 2-to-1 Mounted Samurai to cataphracts. So that's still like army value-wise. loueMT is in a very good situation at the moment. Also income-wise, just no downtime at all, as he already like transitioned mostly into farms at this point in time. We don't have a Yumi bannerman from the looks of it, so the archers aren't going to be performing as well, nearly as well as the longbowmen will. But looks like this is a fight that Valdemar wants to take onto the outpost here, so loueMT looks to be forced to defend this one. Even more Mounted Samurai coming in now from him. And the mass of Yumi archers now getting spotted as well. Starting to exchange shots here to the front line.
Ooh, good charge. But it's just a numbers game, right? And yeah, like you said, I don't think there's a bannerman here, but even so, because Louis just has so many Mounted Samurai, he's able to hold no problem.
Yeah, the cataphract just going down so quickly. And it looks like it's just enough units here from loueMT. The longbows were mostly focusing on the Yumi archers. And Valdemar's army completely disappears. Triumph got used as well during that engagement.
And they're
so not going to be available anymore for
Valdemar.
Yeah. Without any relics to fall back on. This might just be it. Valdemar just lost the entire military that he had and now is left struggling without any real substance to it. To his military inside of his base.
Yeah, just a couple of farms, no relics like you said. And now he also has to do a farm transition when he's just lost his entire army. So it's just kind of the worst position you don't want to be in.
Yeah, even more farms getting dropped now at the same time. More production buildings. No, that's just an outpost. He needs an outpost in the wood line, but Louis, he's going around both sides now. Valdemar knows he has to evacuate the wood line here.
But where do you go now? There's only the other wood line, and Louis knows he's rotating over. He's denying wood.
Even more farms.
Yeah, he's moving his entire army towards that upper side where there's both deer and the second wood line. There's nowhere else to go, so Louis just attacks that point.
Louis behind us unlocked the second daimyo manor as well, so now we're seeing even more coming in. Daimyo Palace. Yep. Even more bannermen now coming in.
I think he's just prioritized the cavalry bannerman, right? But he's gonna.
There's also Yumi bannerman there now as well, so it's gonna be getting some additional damage out there as well now.
Yeah, I mean, let's remember Valdemar went for didn't go for Grand Winery, right? So his remassing of mercenaries is not going to be as quick.
Yeah.
So that's and these are longbows, right? They're expensive. Now there is the Golden Tower, right? The Golden Horde Tower, but it's just once you lose all that army, it's just hard to remass.
Yeah, it's a rough situation at the moment for Valdemar for sure. We also don't have full control over which mercenaries you want to get from the Golden Hunter, so next time it's going to be some Landsknecht as well, which probably aren't that valuable for your military when you're up against like massive Yumi archers there as well. loueMT cut to stop production, and looks like he is going to be heading to Imperial Age here in just a little bit. Tanegashima Gunsmith could definitely be an option here for him. I don't think we're going to be seeing Castle of the Crows now. Could also come in theory, and it actually is going to be Castle of the Crows here. At the top side, that is close to one of the markets, so he should be able to get a lot of connections in, and it's a lot of immediate value that you get once that trade caravan comes in from the Castle of Crows. Overall, value-wise, you're getting more in theory out of the Tanegashima Gunsmith, but like you have more control over what units you want to go into if you go for the Castle of the Crows and just take the resources there.
Yeah, I think the idea is because he's already so ahead in terms of tempo and the army, he's just going to get that immediate value, and because all three sites are right now, the clock's ticking, right? Or did it? No, somebody... Oh,
one has been decapped, yeah, the bottom one has been decapped.
I guess the gold, kind of protection of the gold is also important, right? The big gold up top. And he's on the other gold as well, so yeah, like you said, immediate value, and then kind of get the elite upgrades and then push forward.
Yeah. Even more cisterns coming up. At this point, like, Valdemar doesn't really need more cisterns, just to like spread out the influence a lot more. But like, he's already at maximum value. He doesn't even care if one of these aqueducts gets broken. He's still gonna be at cistern level 5. But now with the age up coming in, Valdemar, it's a little bit of a harsh realization when it comes to just how far ahead loueMT is. And now with the age up, we're seeing even more mounted samurai. We're seeing the university just getting rushed up as well. So probably gonna be seeing biology, elite mounted samurai, and yeah, with that, I mean, it's just gonna be one large death ball that Louis is gonna be able to send across the map.
Yeah, I mean, there's two options for Louis when he kind of wins that fight, right? One is he can kind of just continue making units and keep pushing, but the Louis way is kind of playing it safe, taking advantage of your position, going Imperial, and kind of using that advantage to make such a insurmountable advantage, right? And Valdemar behind that, he's kind of feeling better. He's remaxing a little bit, but the reality is Louis is with 5 relics, he's Imperial.
Yeah.
And
now 1,500 resources coming in from that one single trade caravan. That's a big boost to Louis' economy right there.
Yeah, like you said, it's safe, right? It's up. It's
pretty safe.
Pretty safe position.
Valdemar looks like he's also trying to reach Imperial Age, but the issue for him is that gold is not something that he's gonna have like that much of. This one only has 700 remaining. That bottom one, like 3,000 or so.
But that's gonna be a target, right? That's gonna be.
It's gonna be the main target, and also like upgrades are so expensive in Imperial Age that 3,000 gold gets used up quicker than one might think.
And yeah, Lou's on the golds, the big golds in the middle of the map, and he has a huge keep landmark on the other golds. So he's just kind of the gold control, and like you said, even though Valdemar is aging up right now with the foreign engineering company, the other thing is he's not going to have as much olive oil, both for the foreign engineering company and for regular mercenary units.
That's so overall olive oil that he has. He's just mostly going to be relying, I want to say, like on the passive production from the Golden Horn Tower, all the mercenaries. And he doesn't need siege immediately, so in theory, like, he could still realistically pump out like 1 to 2 more batches of Longbowmen until then. Elite Longbowmen are a menace. Like, they will do so much damage, even up against like these mounted samurai here.
Yeah.
But at this point, there's just so many. Louis on 32 with 7 more in the queue.
Yeah, he's just full producing mounted samurai. That's the only thing he's kind of focusing on.
Yeah.
His macro is food, gold heavy.
Biology is about to be coming in as well. This is just mass mounted samurai here. That's a lot of Limitani, but there's more mounted samurai than Limitani at the moment.
Yeah.
Biology
Full upgrade,
coming in a second.
And biology comes in. Now these, oh wait, biology comes in for Valdemar as well, right?
Yeah, but biology now. This mounted samurai about to wreak havoc here in the economy from Valdemar. Wait, he just lost so many villages as well somewhere. He's down to 66 villages all of a sudden, and this is it.
Oh no.
He must have lost them on the gold vein, maybe. Nah, the village is still out there, but on the farms here at the front side, definitely some villagers that go down there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many knights that in the blink of an eye, if you're not careful, you can just like, 10 villagers can melt instantly.
Yeah. He's mounted samurai. Just probably by far the strongest knight all around unit in the game at the moment.
And with full upgrades in Imperial Age, right?
Yeah,
So.
and the Bannerman. We're looking at like +9 damage on them, I want to say.
Yeah.
If we look at them, how much is it? +3. And then the ones with the aura, yeah, +9. That's a good amount.
And the bonus as well, yeah. Yeah, and I think Louis now is going for that siege just to kind of deal with some of the buildings. And maybe he's going, I assume it's anti-building, right?
Yeah, he just wants to like start taking down the infrastructure inside of the base. And this many knights, I mean, Valdemar, he sees that it's just a big old ocean of mounted samurai. Sends out a cataphract here and he's getting a rocket to the face.
That was the shortest lived interaction that cataphract is going to ever have. Yeah, and Louis just continuing to make mounted samurai, right? That's the unit that he's upgraded. And he's just going to go with siege. I mean, he can just... Valdemar's moving out, but he's not going to be able to.
Louis, he's kind of just like toying with his prey at the moment. He's getting even more university upgrades in. Like, this is a fight that he could easily take. It's a small line of defense from Valdemar, and it's a big chunk, a big square of an army here from loueMT. Limitani running to the front.
Oh my goodness.
But they're getting evaporated in an instant. The Lumbermen trying their best. Palings even being deployed, but you can't deploy Palings, there's just not enough time. It takes way too long, and GG comes in. loueMT setting himself up now for a match point. 2-1 up against Valdemar.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can see that fight from a mile away, right? There's just so many mounted samurai, so much elite mounted samurai up there. And there's also a few, Yumis, but I think just it looks like almost like a kind of...
they're just the extra.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't even really that necessary at the end. Like, just the mounted samurais at that point in time could have probably done the job. And it's such a high-value unit when you have so many of them, and it just compounds. If you look at the military value lead at the economy count,
I mean, that's just one fight afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's a very Louis way of playing, just to not force the issue and kind of build such an advantage that we all know what's going to happen exactly in that fight, right? So he doesn't risk anything. He just continues to raid, continues to poke and prod, and then go up to Imperial.
5 relics in that game was absolutely huge here for Louis. Looking at the gold guard, he's almost doubled the gold here from Valdemar in that game. And sure, Valdemar with the Byzantines, you don't need as much gold as you do have olive oil, but it's just not enough. You didn't have the Grand Vinery there, so
You also
you don't have that bonus coming
yeah,
in as
exactly.
well.
Hippodrome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after all, when you do the Dark Age aggression, it's not just immediate value that you kind of like villager kills or anything like huge like that. It's kind of changing your opponent's gameplay, right? The Byzantines wants to go for the Grand Winery, wants to go for that fast cisterns, but all of that gets so delayed with that initial aggression that it's kind of more on Louis' terms of what he wants to do.
Exactly. Now, next up, it is Valdemar's pick, and he's going to be moving this one over to Frisian Marshes. Now, loueMT, of course, he does have Knights Templar, so that is most likely going to be the pick there for him. Valdemar, Rus and Zhuji's Legacy are like the main choices that he has access to. He obviously has some Mongols as well, but I don't think Mongols is that good anymore on Frisian Marshes, so probably going to be Rus or Zhuji's Legacy. With French being open for Cliffside, I would kind of tend towards Zhuji's Legacy for Frisian Marshes here for Valdemar, but could also be that he feels a little bit threatened now and might want to just pick Rus instead, just to like have a perceived stronger civilization for next game.
Yeah, but it is Knights Templar on that map, right?
Mongols. English?
He goes for English?
Yeah,
Mongols.
okay, I got like Kyle giving me weird stares at right now because he also is like, okay, what?
Yeah, Louis goes for English and versus Mongols.
He just countered Mongols. Oh my god. Like, there's not going to be any Dark Age aggression. That's such a wild play here. Picking English and like Mongols for Valdemar. That's not something that I expected, especially with like the recent changes that we had to Frisian Marshes, where the markets not as safe anymore. You don't have 2 markets. You only have 1 market in the center. So definitely something that's contested. So Mongol trade no longer as prevalent, and English.
Yeah, I don't know English.
Just shut down any Dark Age aggression baseline from Spearman.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because I don't know, he would be anticipating Mongols. I doubt that he would be. But yeah, you have a nice Templar. You have even French would be good too in Frisian Marshes. But yeah, definitely an interesting pick. Interesting. I would not have guessed this matchup, and I think you would either.
That is definitely a curveball here, and definitely something that I think Louis also wanted to try to surprise his opponent there. By the way, as you do see at the top left corner there, other side, we do have our Mecherino funding going on there as well. So if you want to help us make this tournament an S-tier tournament, do feel free to check out the Mecherino link. Anything that you do donate over there is going directly into the prize pool. We need to get to 20,000 or to make this an S-tier tournament. So you can help us reach that goal, that little bit of a stretch there that we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
It is definitely very much appreciated, so do check out the Mecherino there. By the way, if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, also make sure to check by the local host live event here at the LAN. We do obviously also have spectator seating here available. Also some merch that you can pick up live on site, so definitely some amazing opportunities out there as well. If you do want to also grab a nice little shirt here with these amazing logos for King of the Rockies, definitely make sure you tune by, and we're getting ready for our game number 4 now. Match point for loueMT up against Valdemar, and English versus Mongols. Yeah, that's what it's going to be here on Frisian Marshes.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely no Spearman Dark Age, but would you say kind of a Horseman situation?
You could go for Horseman. The game always becomes weird when you send like Horseman, but I think like there's a reasonable amount of distance between the players that Louis, by the time the Horseman arrives, also already has like way more than enough gold to.
He's going to be able to scout it. And he's slowly
he's going to have way more than enough gold to be able to get to the next age. So at that point in time, the horsemen aren't really that scary anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see as to what the game plan is from for Mongols specifically, right? Is it going to be just Deer Stone's kind of aggression, or like you said, it's not the old Frisian Marshes with the safe, strong trading post right on the side for Mongols. It's on the middle, so it's a lot harder to kind of set that up, but it is English, so it could be a little slower. So maybe we do see a trade attempt on in the middle. Who knows?
It could be. If you like buy yourself a little bit of map control there, that's definitely an option for you. English 2TC is obviously still like very strong. That is definitely an option here for loueMT. Would be surprised if it was something different. There are like some other strategies going around with 1TC, but they're perceived not as strong as like a 2TC from English. Especially on a map like Frisian Marshes, where there's a lot of resource album map that you can secure with that second TC.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Lou's playstyle probably for that safer second, more standard second TC, and then to set up and then go from there, I think is probably more likely. But I mean, you never know. It's an English
You have to also
pick.
respect the Mongols, of course. Like when like double produced cache and stuff like that comes in, you have a lot of armored units there that can challenge a second TC that's produced out on the map. Now, second TC obviously also provides you with the network of Citadels buff, which is a very, very strong defensive bonus to have there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I definitely think like Mongols have the opportunity to go full line and all in once that second TC does come up. Will be interesting to see what Valdemar has planned here for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's also the second TC positioning from English. It could be, like you said, out on the map, trying to secure more of the shoreline fish, or it could be just a standard protecting the gold, protecting maybe like a woodline, although the woodline is usually on the back, but maybe just kind of playing a safe, condensed English play style, focusing more on your economy setup as opposed to putting yourself too wide out there, especially, like you said, against Keshiks and cavalry raids. But yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to be able to defend, no problem. It's going to be Louis. He's going to be able to kind of set that up, and a very good defensive civilization in English. And it kind of just depends on how the game goes. It kind of depends on what Valdemar does with the Mongols too, right?
Exactly, yeah. But I do believe that it is going to be time now for us to jump into our game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be moving on over now to Frisian Marshes. There we go, looking at that nice little cinematic view as we're entering game number 4 here on Frisian Marshes. There's going to be Valdemar on the Mongols up against loueMT, playing as the English here. Not a matchup that we're too familiar with, especially on this map on Frisian Marshes. Mongols versus English. That's going to be interesting. Definitely something that we are going to have to ask the players afterwards, like what their thought process was there.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with all of the different options available, like Knight Templar on this map, with all the docks.
Oh my god, what is that for a TC spot? Next to the gold, next to the stone, so you can just use your Gur for the woodline. This is going to be a very fast feudal age from the looks of it for Valdemar. He's already gathering a lot of the gold. We'll soon probably just switch over to the to food with those gold villagers once he has enough, just to get the feudal age in a little bit quicker. And we already see Louis moving out to stone, so it's just going to be a fast feudal age. Well, not fast feudal age, like a fast feudal age TC from him. Only TC, 2 villagers on the Abbey of Kings, so he knows, okay, I'll take my time. My TC won't be ready if I go with more villagers on the age up.
Yeah. It always feels a little risky when you don't have your TC under like a wood line initially, because you just need so much wood in the feudal age, right? But I think Valdemar was just such a quick TC kind of placement, and then like a quick feudal age, like you said. So it might point to some aggression, especially with this.
Valdemar. That could have been game almost. That could have almost been game.
All those sheep, 15-15. I mean, imagine losing all of those sheep.
Yeah, that legitimately could have been game ending there had he lost the Khan there. And we are actually going to be getting a silver tree here, so feels better right now. He's looking at this and he's thinking to himself, oh yeah, this is a that is a good play from Valdemar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when in doubt, this is what you do, right? You got Mongols and you got the trade. Doesn't matter where the trading post is. You'll figure it out eventually, as long as you get that trading at the silver tree and you have that trade set up. I mean, it's going to be 2 TC English, right? So it's not the optimal civilization to kind of stop trade, harass trade. So it could try to get going, and there is some value in it.
Yeah. loueMT does spot the age up though, so he will know what Valdemar's game plan is going to be with that silver tree. And I mean, his second TC, it's going to be scaling up nicely against that. Silver tree also isn't positioned in a way for him to double produce, so Valdemar is accruing a lot of stone here at the moment. We also haven't had any. Do we have? I don't think we've had any double produced villagers yet at this point in time.
So.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. I mean, we can just quickly check the stone vein, see how much is remaining in there. Yeah, okay, they're like all the stone he has inside.
And also the villager count, right? 17, 16 is pretty standard for.
Yeah, typically Mongols is a little bit further behind.
I think he set that up the TC so quick.
You can see we have the TC idle counter there at the bottom left. So there was actually 11 seconds of idle time. Typically English or just any civilization is 1 villager ahead of Mongols at pretty much all times. So I think it's just like because the timings were quite tight here for Louis that he had to idle out the TC just a little bit there to get the age up in at the time that he wanted to.
Yeah, 11 seconds is not insignificant, especially against Mongols where you want to have that, right, the villager advantage. And we have the age up, the king is in queue, and there's a good amount of places for king to, oh, we have double Keshik instead of double traders, right? So you're just going to slowly build that trader and then deal with the king with the double Keshiks.
Yeah. And now we should be getting that second TC in. Is it going to be on the gold or is it going to be on the wood line? Looks like it is going to be in the back there, safely positioned next to the wood line.
Yeah, you know, Louis not taking any chances. He's going to secure that wood line. And because both of his wood lines are kind of in the back, it's kind of a nice defensive position for him. Now he's going to probably need a tower or two in the front and to secure that gold positioning, right? Especially 2TC English, the problem sometimes is you don't have access initially to the resources that you want, that is gold in the front, right? So the other consideration is that Valdemar is going to start making traders soon. He hasn't yet. He's going to have that tower in the wood line. But yeah, like, so you don't have the TC under like a wood line or the wood line under TC. And so with one tower, sometimes it eventually isn't just, it's not enough, right? You have so many wood villagers in field 8, so that's something to take note of.
Keshiks from Valdemar. I'm just going to try and find some value here. Does see that the TC hasn't been put up at the front, so he's going to be able to just surmise from that it's probably going to be put up at the back. Blue behind us now also adding in some farms. So he's going to be getting that nice, quick English food economy there from those.
Yeah, how many traders? I think it was first trader, second trader, right? Yeah. So, I mean, there's no way to really do damage for Valdemar right now. He is continuing to produce Keshiks, but when you see the positioning, right, so you just kind of want to start trade as soon as possible because there's really nothing you can do at this point.
Yeah. And Louis, like, these farms are very safely positioned. It's going to be quite tough for Valdemar to really find too much damage here. If he wants to dive with the Keshiks, he's probably going to take a lot of arrow fire damage there.
Yeah.
From the TC, especially as the English ones, of course, do more damage. And there we go. Village is just getting garrisoned. Keshiks loses a lot of health there.
Yeah. I mean, also, you get notified, right, as the English when somebody comes in.
Yeah.
And it's 2 TCs, and it's English TCs, so I think most that Valdemar is trying to do is just to idle out some of those farms as best he can wish for.
He's actually doing a good job of that, and Keshiks can also just heal themselves up on those mining camps. We're getting double barracks behind us, though, so Louis, he's very quickly going to be able to mass up enough spearmen to just deal with this annoyance that coming in behind us.
The archer
looks like Valdemar, yeah, he's going to be making some archers next up.
Yeah, so Valdemar is,
Gets his first villager kill, but I'm not sure if it's worth it, losing a Keshik for one villager. He costs idle time, though, but like especially with the second TC, those villagers are relatively easily replaced in comparison to if this just was one TC.
I think he's able to, yeah, he's, you gotta be careful with that con, though. Yeah, the con is kind of dwindling the health for one villager, and then he's going to charge in, is essentially what he's trying to do. But Louis, very aware of his villagers, kind of pulls down one back under TC on the sheep so as to not risk that villager. Yeah. Now we can also...
Spearman coming out of the moon. Louis doesn't have any stables yet.
Yeah, now, see, this is the problem with
just
the wood, right? When you don't have TC on the wood, it's just so vulnerable.
Oh, the king isn't charging, so I don't think he's going to be able to kill a villager.
Oh, he might actually even go down.
Oh, that would be devastating if he lost the king there. Yeah, especially with the Yam aura, the Keshik's actually able to catch up to the king.
He wants to get out of the aura as soon as possible and try to run away for his life, but I think he should be fine. I don't know the movement speed. I know it's faster than the knight.
Yeah, he's faster than the knight, so he's good now. But a charge could definitely still hurt him.
Yeah, up to 8 Keshiks now, and Valdemar is continuing to deny gold. I think Louis is fine with that. He's just trying to mass up his spear numbers to take control of the forward position, and he's just kind of massing those farms, right? Classic English.
He's a little bit constricted when it comes to the space inside of his base. Just mostly spearmen at the moment as well, so the archer mass that's building up is going to be an eventual problem for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, he's just doing normal English 2TC on this map. I think I'm just kind of interested as to the pick, right? The pick choice when there's a nice Templar and other civs. And this kind of...
Yeah, the Louis walls are coming in now, though.
Yeah, up to 12 spears, 4 in Q, 13. So a lot of spears. Now, I don't know if he scouted the archers, but there's up to 7 archers. Of course, this is Mongol, so he can double produce from Keshik's go instead produce archers, right? So he can kind of counter that. I think, yeah, Valdemar can deal with this army no problem. I think he's just going to pull up his archers and then kind of bait.
Yeah, there they are. In the stealth horse as well. Movement speed, no. Is that movement sparrow gets activated as well. Archers do step up. That's a lot of damage done to them.
Yeah. Yeah, now the tower doesn't go up. He has to go back. I don't think the walls are also going to go up. Now Louis can heal his units, but these are spearmen, not really high HP units, right? Especially when you have 12 archers, you can eventually one-shot them, and it's pretty good pressure from Valdemar denying the gold. Now, you can have all the economy in the world, right? If you don't have access to gold eventually with trade,
you're not getting any upgrades in. Like Louis, he's got so many villagers, but it's incredibly inefficient to not even have the feudal age upgrades in at this point in time. There's no horticulture, there's no double broadaxe, no wheelbarrow, nothing like that. Meanwhile, Valdemar, he's got double broadaxe in at the very least, could afford the other upgrades in as well. We're seeing a couple more upgrades coming in now, mostly blacksmith though.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna eventually have solid gold income, right, as trade goes further and further, so he's going to be able to go grab those upgrades really easily. Valdemar is rotating around. He might get a go kill there. He's going to lose a few units. Oh, he doesn't even get that. Yeah. I think it's just better for him. You kind of stay and posture up in the front.
Oh, combos are getting sacrificed up front. Louis probably didn't expect Valdemar to recommit there with the dive.
Valdemar is not trading really heavily. It's just that silvertree, right? One market essentially from the cheaper. Right,
and only every now and then is he making a trader, but now he is getting to 10 traders, so he is like getting additional resources. It looks like the king actually just killed one trader.
Yeah, the king provides so much value here for Louis because he doesn't have a cavalry unit. It's just that free unit that when he doesn't lose, he's able to pick off a trader here and there, especially annoyed.
Almost 30 spearmen now.
Yeah.
And just mass archers. I mean, eventually Louis is going to be able to push out like that, but Valdemar, he is about to hit that age up on his own. King actually killed another trader here.
Yeah, the king being faster than knight has always been so annoying for me. You can't kind of chase them. I guess you can chase them with like a billion horsemen. Is the only way you can try to get them. But yeah, the archer numbers from Valdemar are definitely lacking.
Yeah, that means Louis is finally going to be able to push out and get access to his own gold. And yeah, Valdemar is now aging up with the Kurultai. So this is most likely going to be an all-in push from him once that comes in. Like, there's just so many units from Louis. I'm not sure if that's going to work out.
What unit is he going to? Is he just going to go lean on archers, get into veterancy, and kind of lean on archers? You think?
Feels like it at the moment, but that's not like strong enough.
There's just not enough archers for you right now.
Oh, king gets picked up.
Okay, that's some relief for Valdemar not having to deal with that in his trade line. Almost gets the scout, and it's in these situations, the scout is really valuable for English, right? You don't have a stable, so Louis is able to kind of scout out strength of the trade. The trade is not really scaling that much. There's 9 traders still. Meanwhile,
it's still a good amount of income. He's even putting outposts along the trade route, so he is getting that bonus movement speed on the traders.
More efficient, yeah.
Also just allows the traders to be garrisoned in case of any raids, should they come in. And yeah, Louis, with the age up, he's just going to start moving out now. Time for him to get some upgrades as well. Most likely blacksmith upgrade should be coming in next for Louis, as he does need to just increase the efficiency of his units, as he does have the majority of the army.
Yeah, there's only 15 archers for Valdemar right now. There's just so many units from Louis, right? Both longbows. There's already 21 longbows from Louis, surpassing the archer count even from Valdemar. So, in addition to 40 spears, so definitely a difficult push for Valdemar.
Veterancy upgrades coming in though, but yeah, this is one of those situations where Louis does have like the counter to every single one unit that Valdemar has out at the moment. Spearman against the Keshiks and Longbowmen up against the archers. So this should work relatively well for Louis if a fight actually does get taken. And behind this, I mean, the farming economy, we can look at the food income right now. It is definitely in favor here for Louis by a good margin.
Yeah, and it's often we see that lose in this position where the opponent is in Castle Age, but he's just able to hold no problem. He just is able to get that balance between units and age up so well that yeah, I mean this is just so many units. They just longbows can deal with the archers already.
Yeah. And just like that, the Kurultai is potentially getting burnt down as well. Actually, it does have the movement speed upgrade on it, but is that going to be enough? Looks like the Spearmen are chasing after. Or not. Is going to get the Kurultai out. I think that's crucial for Valdemar to get that Kurultai out there.
What do you think, you know, playing against 2TC English, do you just have to have more markets and kind of lean on trade a little more if you're going to go for that play? Because right now it just looks like Valdemar doesn't have enough economy and enough kind of to get enough units to deal with it.
I think that maybe like the Castle Age play in general was potentially like a wrong choice for him.
More units?
Yeah, just getting more units out, potentially, like behind the Silver Tree. Like, you do have like an armored cavalry unit, right? Like, your opponent doesn't have access to that outside of the one king. So, as the scaling goes on, I kind of feel like you don't need Castle Age necessarily. Especially since at that point, like, there weren't even that many longbowmen.
You just prefer kind of keeping the pressure on, right? So going to castle is not as much value as opposed to if you didn't have the Keshik unit, armored unit, the old Mongols.
That's still a lot of Keshiks here for Valdemar. It's just difficult to fight when there's 40 spearmen, especially once the attack speed aura comes in as well. Like, the spearmen suddenly start attacking a lot quicker.
Yeah, and 45 longbows right now. Louis just continuing to make... I mean, he has a huge, huge army, and he's kind of going to castle pretty soon here. So
yeah, castle pretty soon. It's just going to be a white tower probably to protect the next gold. And honestly, like, after that, could just be an immediate Imperial Age follow-up as well, potentially. Yeah. Like, he's got the entire, like, economy set up to just go ham after that.
Yeah, White Tower coming up. He's already up in economy. No need to risk it, right? Forward White Tower, just as if he's killable with that army. But yeah, he's just playing it safe and protecting the forward gold. The only thing is you got to maneuver your army, right? Your army is relatively slow, and these catchers are trying to get in. But it looks like he's going to have no problem.
Tries to repair, but gate is getting set on fire. Some villagers getting taken down. Trying to repair.
One villager, and that's it.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
Just in time.
Oh, even denies a relic. But Valdemar already has 2 relics in, and the 3rd relic on its way. Yeah. Actually, Longbowman could potentially be trapped there. Needs to be careful, mindful of that, rather. Is going to be able to make its way back to the White Tower. Yeah, Valdemar can't take that fight up against the White Tower.
He has to leave right now.
Wait, is he? He can't take that fight. Can't down now as well.
He doesn't even need his veterancy upgrades if he take this fight.
It's just too many. Like, you do critical damage there, so you don't even need it. Yeah.
Yeah, the longer this game goes, the more solid Blue's position is going to be if you're not going to lean on trade, right? The more...
it's just so many spearmen. Like, Valdemar can't feasibly kill them all in time for the longbows to just kill all the archers in the meantime.
It's just such a difficult army comp to deal with, especially with the network, right? the range on the longbows, and they're untouchable because you have 40 spears with 7 morning Q.
Valdemar's up to 15 traders now, but still doesn't feel like it's enough, like it's substantial enough.
Siege engineering, improved for
that makes sense. If you can get some mangonels out, would definitely help him out, but now the veterancy upgrades have come in for loueMT. Valdemar is losing a lot more archers. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's down to 10 archers.
Yeah, he's losing ground, and that's the issue on this map, right? Like, trade, once it's exposed, it is so difficult to hold. 400 food per minute compared to 1,800 food per minute on Louis' side, and Louis just continues pumping out those units.
Okay, so Valdemar has been making more trades, because I mean that's the only option you have to kind of try to catch up in economy, right? But right now, Louis can just keep making units. He doesn't have to look for Imperial.
There's a
like
Mangonel. Oh, but Louis, he's pushing straight away.
I think he's gonna get to that Mangonel before it's even built.
Yeah. I mean, the longbows have so much line of sight, right? They see it, they see it. Valdemar has to cancel it. Keshiks, that's not a fight they can take. Kurultai, it's not deploying. Archers are now going to start taking the fight up against the Spearmen, but there's so many more Spearmen on the way as well from the reinforcement side. Kurultai gets deployed, but no unit in range of it. And the Keshiks just disappearing here. And it looks like loueMT with the 2 TC English here on Frisian Marshes up against Mongols is going to make it happen. A long and drawn out feudal age game to win the game and to win the set here for loueMT. Still 40 Spearmen out on the field, more and more reinforcements trickling on over from the base. Traders trying to find shelter inside the sea. Forward outpost now also coming up. Game gets paused, game gets unpaused. Kurultai gets taken down and GG comes in. Louis able to win the set 3-1 against Valdemar here.
Yeah, the English pick, this 2TC English pick, again shows how strong it is. Doesn't matter how much access you have goal early on, you just kind of continue on your game plan 2TC with your signature composition, right? Spearmen, archers, or Spearmen longbows rather, and you're able to overcome any tempo castle age push.
There was so many Spearmen there. It was honestly a little bit absurd. I think maybe like the correct choice would have been like mass men-at-arms and maybe get an outpost for it so your men-at-arms can actually catch up to units with the MR. But it's so difficult, right? It's healing on men-at-arms is quite good with the Kurultai as well. But you're so slow, you're so immobile, so it never really feels great. But in a situation where Valdemar like kind of shut down the gold income at all, like there wasn't any blacksmith upgrades for a very long time for loueMT, I feel like maybe men-at-arms could have been the play there. But obviously it's so difficult to judge in those games, and in the end, the trade just was not enough to deal with the 2TC play there from loueMT. And like kudos to the base building as well from Louis. Like that was a pretty much unpenetrable.
I mean the safety, right, of the farm.
It's so difficult to attack into that.
Yeah. I mean, he had a plan. He made sure the farms were safe. And like you said, the composition was double barracks and just bunch of spearmen. And then a start kind of transition to longbows, double archers. So he's just kind of making one unit at a time and just massing that unit.
And it's all units that don't cost any gold. So you have so much wood in the bank. You have infinite food with those English farms. It is just such an easy army composition to bolster up. And that means, just like that, Louis able to win out this set here. But it was a very competitive set. I do want to say like these were pretty close games, and especially like game number 2 there with Delhi versus Ayyubids. That was a pretty good game here from both players coming
back and forth, definitely.
All right. Now, I do believe we should be getting a winner's interview here soon. I wonder how it's going to be set up, as we will probably have a translator for loueMT. So I'm going to be working on that. In the meantime, it does look like loueMT is making his way over here to the caster booth for a winner's interview in just a little bit. Pleasantries also being exchanged with all the people here live at the venue, giving Louis fist bumps after the 1 set there.
A very well played set of best of 5 and 2-1.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it over to loueMT now, together with his translator. So, everybody, give it up for loueMT.
Alrighty. Now, I think... for headsets, I think. Well, congratulations for this win, best of 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. I think I want to work backwards. Why? I think both of us casters were wondering about the English pick on Frisian Marshes. So maybe go. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Why did you pick English? Were you expecting him to pick Mongols?
他手里剩罗斯、朱熹和蒙古，他只有可能拿蒙古，所以对。
Yeah, Rus probably wouldn't work. You were not expecting Rus, so it's just those 2.
你认为他不可能选罗斯是吗？
对的，没有可能。
Think he would pick Rus in that map.
Okay, so English is just kind of a counter pick to Mongols essentially.
所以你就是选英国来去 counter 蒙古吗？
英国可以打他剩下的所有族。
English can counter all the left threes. So.
Yeah. So it's like a safe pick, right? Yeah, I mean it was very kind of a safe pick for you then in that scenario, right? I want to talk about the Delhi Ayyubid pick. Do you think in that matchup, correctly talked about a lot of players think it's an even matchup? Do you think it's an even matchup? What do you think about that?
对，非常平衡的对抗。他
This is a very even matchup.
他那把打得比我好，所以
He
我说。
plays just better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean early on you were able to get the sacred sites deny the sacred sites very well. Yeah, but eventually what went wrong, you think? It's just kind of like a mid-fight?
不攻出多了。
I have too many archers.
Yeah, it's just kind of a unit composition thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess the final question is, what do you think in terms of general feeling? How do you think going into the later stages, especially against Marine Lord and other players?
很兴奋，很开心。
I'm very glad and I'm very excited to play the game.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. Good luck on the other games as well.